Part 106. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1052. Chapter 1034 Official Announcement, Hot Searches, Lord of the Great and the Wild and the World of Sages. The stinky boy is also very courageous. He brought the person back openly, without saying a word to her. The night was very quiet. Bai Jinyu's heartbeat almost stopped at this moment. The last time Juju saw her, she already wanted to end her Pixie career. Why was she seen by Aunt Xia again this time? Repeating the same mistakes again is very unfriendly to her little Pixie. Where is your daughter-in-law here? Xia Yu's voice remained calm. Ms. Xia, you misread it when it's dark. I read it wrong. Xia Yankai sneered when he heard the words, don't turn around. Can't I walk? She strode forward, grabbed Xia Yu's shoulder, and pulled her back. Xia Yu turned around, put his hands in his pockets, and looked lazy. He was really alone. If Xia Yankai hadn't seen the marks on his fair face, he would have been fooled by this kid's innocent appearance. Xia Yankai's eyes moved down, and landed in his bulging pockets, with a strange expression. I forgot that your boy is now at the peak of the spiritual realm. How amazing, you are quite good at hiding my daughter-in-law in your pocket play. Xia Yu. He raised his hand and pressed the center of his eyebrows. Ms. Xia, I don't have such perverted hobbies. Obviously it was Xiaobai who turned back into Pixie and got into his pocket, so fast that he didn't have time to stop it. Yo, you also know that you are quite perverted sometimes. Xia Yankai continued to be sly. Why don't you quickly change my daughter-in-law back? The things in your pocket are alive, don't think I can't feel them. Xia Yankai's gaze was very straightforward, and Bai Jinyu couldn't stop it, but she still poked out a fluffy little head. Xia Yankai's voice stopped abruptly. Bai Jinyu stretched out her pixie paw and waved it, blinking her purple eyes. Hi, thank you, Auntie. Xia Yankai. 10 minutes later, Spirit League Hall. Xia Yu stood in the center of the hall, and Xia Yankai sat in the main seat. Yun Fengzi and Leader Yun have also arrived, and the two of them are still a little unclear, but Yun Zhaozhao came here to watch the play. After all, there were too few scenes where Xia Yu was interrogated in the third hall. She had to take a picture of this rare scene, so that she could hold the handle of her black-bellied cousin, and she would not be afraid of being oppressed in the future. Say, Xia Yankai patted the table, and his voice squeezed out from between his teeth, when did you start it? Tell me clearly from the beginning to the end, and you can't leave a single word. Yun Fengzi hurriedly comforted Xia Yankai. Yan, calm down, what did you do to make you so angry? Don't get angry and ruin your body. You know what? Xia Yankai roared angrily, this brat's daughter-in-law is Xiaobai, he is taking advantage of someone else's danger. Yun Fengzi was stunned for a second. What? Leader Yun was also shocked. How can you lie to Xiaobai? Bai Jinyu was still in Xia Yu's pocket. There is nothing wrong with saying that, she was indeed deceived. A long time ago Xia Yu had the experience of facing fucking that time, and now he is more than capable. With a leisurely tone, I didn't lie, I chased after him. After a pause, he added, Teacher Si already knows. No, I don't agree. Xia Yankai didn't even think about it. I still don't understand your character, you just eat and wipe away people without spit out the bones. Yun Fengzi immediately agreed, that's right. Black-hearted guy. Leader Yun coughed, you don't need to say that about Yu, he is still very good when he is good. Bai Jinyu heard Pixie's fur explode. Is Xia Yu so scary? Dad, you can't slander me just because you couldn't grab me when I was young. Xia Yu raised his eyebrows. Besides, I have Xiaobai, so you won't be alone in the empty room again. When Yun Fengzi heard it, he felt that it made sense, that's why. Huh, Xia Yankai looked at him enough to kill someone. Yun Fengzi immediately changed his words, I'll listen to your mother. Xia Yankai snorted coldly, forget it, I won't embarrass you too much. If you dare to bully Xiaobai, then go to the ancestral hall and face the wall to think about it. Bai Jinyu nodded again and again, that's right, let him face the wall and think about his mistakes. Yun Zhaozhao finally saw Xiaobai in her pocket, and she was dumbfounded, cousin, you are such a beast. Oh my god, her cousin actually abducted such a cute puppy. Zhao, I'm Pixiu. Bai Jinyu stretched out his little paw and waved at her happily, but this form does look like a dog. Yun Zhao's eyes lit up, you are so cute, let me touch you, I will just touch you, thank you bastard. Before her claws touched Xiaobai's head, Xia Yu had already lifted her aside. Yun Zhao, don't move. Xia Yu's voice was quite gentle, and he smiled lazily, call me cousin. Bai Jinyu blinked, and quickly transformed back into a human form. She stepped forward and hugged Yun Zhao, I'll give you a hug. Yun Zhao was dazed by the sudden approach of Wen Xiangnanyu, and he stuttered, Wu, why are you blindly looking at my cousin, he is broken. Bai Jinyu felt guilty, maybe it's because I'm a face control. That's true. Yun Zhao wiped away tears, he is deceiving people with this face. Let's go, Xiaobai. Xia Yankai took Bai Jinyu's hand, Mom will take you back to school, and tell Mom about everything in the future. If this kid dares to bully you, I will beat him. Bai Jinyu was completely unaware of the change in Xia Yankai's self-proclaimed name, and she said cheerfully, wow. Xia Yu didn't follow, he glanced at Xia Yankai, took out his phone slowly, and sent a Weibo. At V, already married, please don't read it. 6 words, directly became a hot search. Holy shit, what did I see, brother Xia, could it be that his account was hacked? Obviously not, this man is so happy that he is floating, it seems that he has passed the parental barrier. 6-year-old fan, Yuze finally got married, the old mother was moved to tears. Today is a day worth celebrating, let's toast to our brother Xia finally getting married. Where is the picture of sister-in-law, I'm curious, but I'm probably an amateur, so let's not bother. Hashtag announced off the list. Hashtag this entry quickly rushed to the top of the hot search. But what netizens didn't expect was that this hot search was followed by such a topic. Hashtag still single Su Yang. Hashtag. Although Goddess Si has no official announcement, she already has a master, and now even brother Xia is off, don't wait until Su Ziun has a partner, Su God, you are still single. God Su. Give me some strength, how can you be surpassed by your juniors in this kind of thing? Xia Yu has a partner, how about you? Sigh, I'm afraid I won't see Su Shen get out of the order in my lifetime. Su Yang received a private letter from a group of fans urging her to marry. He silently put down his phone and said, I want to. On the side, Zhang Changning picked up a piece of snack and stuffed it into his mouth, what? Su Yang swallowed the snack and sighed softly. The road is long, and he has a long way to go. 2 days later, Liberty Island, the top of the clouds. As a place connecting the eternal continent and the earth, the top of the clouds is indeed a place of geomantic omen, where the aura meets and helps to nourish the body and soul. In order to protect Lu Qingning's body and collect her soul, Si selected 8 ores and built a special house. On the bed, the girl was still not breathing, but her cheeks had regained some color, and her skin was not as sickly white as when her body was just forged, with a faint light and shadow surrounding her. Suddenly, there was a swish, as if something had exploded, and in the next second, there was a faint sound of breathing, and the color of the light and shadow became deeper. Sister Ning is finally ready. Si breathed a sigh of relief, and his tone became much lighter. Although the second child is a little stupid in certain things, he still gets things done very quickly. Yu Huixiu nodded slightly, expressing her agreement, he has always cared about Sister Ning. Tan Jingmo could die for Lu Qingning without hesitation. This is also the reason why they can safely hand over the matter of collecting Liu Qingning's soul to him. There are only the last 3 souls left. I fucking turned on the computer, clicked on a list, and gradually moved his finger down. No surprises, this is the world where the second child will go next. This is the world I told you to pay attention to. Yu Huixiu frowned slightly. I can't feel it for now, but you should be able to. Can you know the name of this world? I fucking's eyes darkened slightly. Well, I can sense that this place is called Honghuang, and I didn't go there, so other redundant information is not clear. I hope that Sister Ning's 3 souls can return to their positions smoothly. Yu Huixiu's voice was light. If the other party blocks it, we will bring her back at all costs. The second child went deep into the other world to find Sister Ning's soul. In order to prevent him from being rejected by the other world, I imposed a law of prohibition on him. Si Fu said slowly. When he was in the other world, his memory was blocked by the other world. Blocked, it may indeed be dangerous, and more importantly, Sister Ning's soul was reincarnated in the world of cultivating immortals. Yu Huixiu's heart also sank. The world of cultivating immortals. Now it's in big trouble. Although the Eternal Four entered the Eternal Continent for training since childhood, the Eternal Continent was indeed just a game world to them at that time. And at the very beginning, the game system protected them and allowed them to go offline in time when they encountered danger. Moreover, there is reincarnation in the world of cultivating immortals. If Tan Jingmo unfortunately dies there, his soul will be thrown into the reincarnation system of another world, and it will be troublesome to come back. I'm still a little worried, Si fucking murmured, and 3 seconds later, she raised her head. My surname is Yu, let's take a walk. Yu Huixiu frowned. I'll just go. If you go, I'm afraid it will attract the attention of people from the upper world, that Yongsu said. Presumably he also got in touch with those people at that time. I'm afraid of them. Si fucking laughed lazily. You see, the Eternal Continent has been parallel to the Earth for so long, do they dare to come? Yu Huixiu showed a rare faint smile. You are very powerful now, and it's too late for them to hide. Only in this way can we continue to protect you. Si fucking lowered his head and quickly sent a message to Yu Xian. I have to leave a message for Aju. I'm leaving. He must be here to prevent Xiao Xiao from committing another crime. At this time, deep in the vast universe, thousands of stars are turning, the streamers are dazzling, the blue-purple mist surges in the starry sky, and black holes expand from time to time, swallowing the surrounding large and small planets that have not yet formed. The universe is an extremely dangerous place, even for immortal cultivators. If they are not careful, they may be buried in the turbulence of the universe. Therefore, even those spiritual cultivators in the Eternal Continent who have reached a certain level of cultivation and can break through the void will not stay in the universe for too long, but will choose a larger world to settle down as soon as possible. But in such an extremely dangerous place, someone lay quietly above the turbulent flow of the universe, closing their eyes and resting their minds. It was a woman with purple clothes and silver hair, and a slender figure. Suddenly, she seemed to have sensed something, and her expression changed. Oh, the woman opened her eyes, her eyelashes moved slightly. With great interest, a visitor from another world entered my prehistoric world? Is it just a soul? It's interesting. She raised her head suddenly and looked towards the east. The interest in her eyes became more and more intense. Immediately after her figure moved, she disappeared from the sea of thousands of planets in the blink of an eye. In the next second, the woman appeared in a bustling big city, and her clothes became short-sleeved trousers, which was very simple and convenient. This is a pedestrian street. There are many small businesses and hawkers on both sides of the road, and there are many tourists coming and going. The woman bought an ice cream, licked it, and said to herself, well, I still like the matcha flavor the most, but that guy probably only wants to eat strawberries. She took out her mobile phone again, scanned the QR code to pay for a strawberry ice cream, and then moved again. A little girl saw the scene inadvertently, and she jumped up. Mom, Mom, there is a Superman who can fly. The mother next to her held her down and lowered her voice. What kind of Superman? In our country of Hua, they are called ancient warriors. Ancient warriors all have light kung fu. Do you want to learn it? The little girl's eyes widened. Really? I can also learn to fly. Of course it's fake, the mother smiled. We don't have that talent, so don't think about such a good thing. You can learn mathematics, and you can fly if you learn it well. Little girl. She hates her mother who bullies her the most. Here, the woman in purple landed in front of a villa, and put the ice cream she bought on the table in the yard. Hey, come out, I bought strawberry ice cream for you. She made a trumpet shape with her hands and shouted towards the door, come out, or I will feed it to your pig. The teacup pig lying on the ground basking in the sun seemed to understand this sentence, rolled over and hummed twice. The door opened, and a cool voice fell. Junmukien, have I told you that sometimes you are really annoying? Did Emperor Ying and Venerable Lord come out today? Ask for a monthly pass for the two of you. Although it is a linkage, the plot is coherent. It can be understood without reading the first two books. The first world of Xiaolu and the second brother is Xiangxia. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1053. Chapter 1035. Three Big Brothers. Lu Qingning wakes up. With a bang, the door of the villa opened. The girl came out wearing a white nightgown. She had just woken up, her phoenix eyes were hazy, as if the fog had passed, and after the fog cleared, it was a thrilling beauty. She yawned and looked expressionlessly at the woman in purple who was sitting on the stone bench. It's you who bothers me. Junmukien propped his chin with one hand and raised his eyebrows. Perhaps your image once impressed me deeply, but I'm still not used to the life of an ordinary person like you. Every world will experience a catastrophe, and if it can be overcome, the world will continue to run. If you can't make it through, all living things will disappear in an instant. And they have all experienced such disasters. Peace and stability are very rare, and they always have to pay the price of blood and lives to get them, so they cherish such moments very much. Yang Zijin remained silent, picked up the ice cream cup, glanced at it, pointed to the ice cream ball in her cup, and said concisely, it's melted. Junmukien glanced at it, waved his hand, and snapped his fingers, and the ice cream ball immediately returned to its original shape. Okay, let's eat. The teacup pig, who was still lying on the lawn lazily basking in the sun, made a whimpering sound. Just pet her. Yang Zijin ate a mouthful of ice cream and asked, what's the important thing to come to see me so early today? It's the world I told you about before. Junmukien nodded. This world has been fully formed and out of the control of the universe, just like yours here. Oh, Yang Zijin's eyes finally moved. She raised her head and looked into the depths of the sky, as if she could penetrate thousands of stars and reach another universe with a single glance. A few seconds later, she withdrew her gaze and smiled lightly. Well, it's stronger than when you and I went last time. It's just that I was surprised that there are two parallel worlds. That's right, so there is only one possibility. Junmukien raised a finger. It was originally a world, and then it split apart. Two worlds with the same root and the same origin can naturally do this. Yang Zijin nodded slightly. It's just that it's even more difficult to do this. That's right, but today I was so quiet that I was thinking about moving, and I suddenly felt that there was a power from that world entering my prehistoric world, not only one soul, but another person. Junmukien pondered. This soul and each person come from that world, and each of them came from that world. Each soul and person also have some kind of protection restriction, which can perfectly cover the attention of heaven and protect the soul and person. Yang Zijin said softly, it seems that someone like us has already appeared. That's right. Junmu raised his eyebrows. That's why I came to you at the first time. If, as I guessed, this soul came to me to recuperate, This person was sent to find this soul. This seat can help a group, this is not difficult for this seat. Yang Zijin raised his eyebrows slightly, you just want people under protection and restriction to enter your universe. Having said that, she paused. Apparently, the full name is too high for secondary school, which made her unable to say it. Cosmic Guard. Our universe guard Jun Mukian added for her, I have already said that this team is bound to grow and become a terrifying evil force in all universes. Yang Zijin glanced at her, and said unhurriedly, yes, you have already beaten the leaders of several worlds, and they ran away when they saw you. Yang Zijin, don't forget who caused it. Jun Mukian clicked his tongue, you want to eat snacks from another world. The other party has taken a fancy to your beauty and wants to take you back. Fortunately, this seat arrived in time, and the people of the seat dare to move, it is really stupid. Yang Zijin finished the last bite of ice cream, and said slowly, yes, thanks to you who arrived in time to protect me. I'm here to tell you that I'm going back to Hong Huang for a while. Jun Mukian stretched out his hand towards her, are you going? Since that soul has entered my cultivation in Hong Huang, the other party must also come, and you can't see it. It should be very interesting for people who are transparent. Yang Zijin said flatly, that's fine, I'll go with you. She also wanted to meet the people behind it. But there is no need for the guardians of the universe. Only her, a life and death friend who is the co-lord of the great and the desolate, can think of such a name for the second secondary school. Hong Huang is one of the 4 universes. There are 3,000 planes below, led by the general plane of Hong Huang. The Great Desolation is a huge mythical world where humans, gods, demons, immortals, and Buddhas coexist. Here, all the myths spread are true. There are 10,000 Buddhas on the Lingshan mountain in the west, and there are many fairy gates in the east. Lu Qingning woke up suddenly. The body's reaction mechanism was faster than her brain's thoughts. She quickly slapped her hands on the bed, spun her body, and fell to the ground suddenly. Shua. The feeling of contact with the ground made Lu Qingning completely open her eyes, and when she saw the surrounding scene, her pupils shrank slightly. The entrance is a completely unfamiliar environment, antique. Lu Qingning frowned, this time, she actually came to another ancient world. Since it is ancient times, it is not as easy as modern times, so we must be careful. Lu Qingning always felt that she seemed to have forgotten something, but she knew that this was not the first world she was in. She has gone through 6 worlds. These 6 worlds are different, including modern, ancient, interstellar, and apocalyptic. The same thing is that when she opens her eyes in every world, she faces a dead end. The last world was the end of the world. Human civilization was overwhelmed by the zombie army. The remaining humans formed a defense base to resist the attack of zombies. And when the base team was on a mission, she was thrown into the group of zombies as a waste. In the end, she reached an agreement with the zombie king, and human zombies live in peace. Just when she and the zombie king were about to celebrate, she felt that her eyes were darkened, her body was empty, as if her soul had left her body, and all her consciousness was plunged into darkness. When the consciousness dissipated, she seemed to hear someone calling her anxiously. Aning. Aning, hurry up, don't sleep, I will find you. As long as you call me by my name, I will come, for sure. Aning. Lu Qingning muttered to herself, said this address, pressed her fingers on her temples, let out a breath slowly, and shook her head vigorously. What did she forget? She tried to think about it, but found that she couldn't think of anything. Lu Qingning rubbed her face again, ready to carefully survey the 7th new world. When she put down her hand, she suddenly saw a word in her palm. Ink. Lu Qingning was stunned, and touched it with the finger of the other hand. It was smooth, it was not engraved. Her heart suddenly felt a little hot. What's this? She doesn't seem to remember anyone she knows with the word ink. What's more, She travels through one new world after another, and the people she meets are like smoke and smoke in the past to her, and will soon disappear in her life growth stream. She has always had no feelings for others. The most important thing now is to accept the memory of this life. Lu Qingning calmed down, memories came flooding back. She learned her identity this time and the whole story of the incident. The place where she lives is called Tianmen, which is a sect of cultivating immortals in Dongsheng Shenzhou. 3 years ago, the human country she was in was destroyed by another country, and she was homeless as a subjugated princess. When she was about to commit suicide and die for the country, she was rescued by the passing fairy Hanshen. Immortal Hanshen is one of the 5 existing immortals in Tianmen, who has ascended to become a true immortal. From then on, she worshipped under the sect of Immortal Hanshen and embarked on the way of cultivating immortality. Until May of last year, Immortal Hanshen brought back the second human woman Cheoa, and she also had a junior sister. The younger junior sister is beautiful and talented, and she has reached the peak of the nascent soul stage in just 3 months of practice. For ordinary cultivators, it would take more than 100 years to reach the nascent soul stage. Now she is only in the middle of the nascent soul stage. After Zhao came to Tianmen, he was loved by all his seniors. 1 month ago, Immortal Hanshen sent his disciples to the ruins to perform a task, but they happened to meet Moxiu. She and her junior sister were trapped in the magic cave, which only had an opening at the top, and their cultivation bases were sealed, and they were seriously injured, so they couldn't escape by flying with their swords. So she asked her junior sister to step on her shoulders and go out first, so that someone could go back to the Cloud Gate to ask for help, and then bring rescuers. However, after Chaogiri escaped, he never came back. The Devil's Lair had a lot of evil energy, eroding her internal organs, but she finally managed to escape from the Devil's Lair. When she returned to Tianmen, there was no change in Shimen, and everything went on as usual. When the senior brothers saw her, they all acted as if they had seen a ghost, and none of them stepped forward. In the end, it was the 2 senior sisters who brought her back to Mount Taun. And as soon as she came back, before she had time to say a word, she passed out because of her injuries. No, not fainted, but already dead. The soul in this body entered reincarnation before she came, and she woke up. Although the wound on the abdomen that was eroded by the devil energy has healed, it still hurts faintly. Lu Qingning suppressed the violent emotions in her heart, and sighed, "It's getting worse every time, forget it, I'm used to it." She didn't know how many worlds she would travel to, and she didn't know what the way to get out of this world was. But since it has come, it will be safe. She was sitting quietly. There was a conversation outside the door, a woman and a man. Senior Sister 7 has been in a coma for 7 days and 7 nights, is there no sign of waking up? She's asking for trouble. If she can't wake up, it can only mean that her fate has come to an end. Second senior brother, 7th senior sister probably didn't mean to be with the demon cultivators on purpose. Now that she's back, I'd better go and plead with Master to spare her life. Little junior sister, you are just too kind. You saved her, but she hurt Yuan instead. If you didn't get your life back, you would have died. No, it's not 7th senior sister's fault, it's mine, it's me. There was a bang, the sound of the door being kicked open. The female voice stopped abruptly. Lu Qingning's complexion was still a little pale, and she didn't have much strength in her body. She leaned against the door and smiled, "Say it, why don't you continue?" She glanced at the 2 of them, and had already found their identities from her memory. Junior sister Zhao Wu, and second senior brother Fen Nanyan. 7th senior sister, Zhao Wu was very happy to see her. 7th senior sister, you finally woke up. Lu Qingning hummed, "I'm awake. It's all my fault that caused 7th senior sister to be hurt by monsters." Zhao Wu burst into tears. If 7th senior sister doesn't wake up, I don't know how to forgive myself. Seventh senior sister stayed in the magic cave for so long, I don't know. It's really your fault, Lu Qingning interrupted her self-blame, smiling. If you didn't run away by yourself after I sent you out and didn't come back to find me, I wouldn't be hurt like this. Go to Hades as a guest. Zhao Wu's voice disappeared again, and she seemed to be looking at Lu Qingning in disbelief, with a hurt expression on her face. Senior Sister 7, what are you talking about? It was the demon cultivator who tied you up and I went to save you, but you stabbed me. But you and that demon cultivator must not be in the same group, I believe you. Lu Qingning watched her acting hard with great interest, thinking, if she went to Glen, she might be able to play a supporting role for fun. As soon as this thought came to her, she couldn't help but startled. Where was Glen, and how did she feel familiar? Enough, Fen Nanyan's voice sank. Lu Qingning, Xiao Wu saved you, and you will repay your kindness. I didn't ask the master to kill you on the spot when you came back. I already gave you enough face. You are still turning black and white here. If the master has not left the level, I will kill you now. Lu Qingning reluctantly took a step forward, and raised her head. Come on, let's kill. Fen Nanyan's eyes changed. Lu Qingning. What are you doing? At this time, another cold voice sounded. Sister Qi just woke up, what are you all doing here? Are you disturbing her cleanliness? The owner of the voice is a woman. Seeing the person coming, Fen Nanyan's expression changed, and he said respectfully, Elder sister. Zhao Wu didn't make a sound, but grabbed his clothes tightly with his fingers, and hid behind him, his eyes flickering. Lu Qingning also nodded, big sister. Seventh junior sister. The woman's eyes softened, you just woke up, and your body hasn't recovered yet. I'll go to the medicine hall to prescribe medicine for you, and you, second junior brother, escort seventh junior sister to come with me. Fen Nanyan subconsciously looked at Zhao Wu. Zhao Wu shook his head, second senior brother, seventh senior sister likes you, she will be sad if you don't accompany her. Fen Nanyan sneered, okay, let's go. Lu Qingning didn't speak, she closed her eyes and was circulating her dantian, absorbing the aura around her. The three of them left the courtyard. Outside, many immortal cultivators were practicing and competing. There are many immortal gates here, and Cloud Stepping Gate is one of the largest immortal gates. Lu Qingning looked up, and was attracted by a statue surrounded by mountains. It was a female statue, sacred, noble, elegant, and inviolable. Don't look, that's the Lord of the Great Desolation. Fen Nanyan noticed her gaze and said in disgust, a vicious person like you is destined not to become a fairy in this life, not to mention, you are useless now. A useless person, still want to see the prehistoric co-lord? I don't even look at whether I am worthy or not. Jun Mukian, I come here by myself. Someone worse than Brother Xia appeared, that is our second senior brother, every deer in the world doesn't remember him, so we have to start from scratch. 2333. In fact, it is very laborious to write the linkage, I have to go back and look at the settings of the previous book, I have a headache. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1054. Chapter 1036. Slap in the face, the Lord of Great Desolation came in person. Everyone in the three realms of Honghuang knows that Honghuang can continue to operate, and it is indispensable for the main force of Honghuang to turn the tide. It is rumored that the Great Desolate Co-Lord was born at the beginning of the prehistoric universe, and the main body is a Hunyuan purple lotus born from the chaos, inheriting the luck of the heaven and the earth, sheltering the prehistoric universe, and all spirits of the three realms. But whether this is true or not, Fen Nanyan does not know. Although he has the talent of cultivating immortals, He has already broken through the nascent soul stage and entered the transformation stage at the age of 27, but he is still far from becoming an immortal. But even if he became a fairy, it would be even more difficult to meet the Lord of Great Desolation. Above the true immortals, there is also the Tei true immortal, and the highest level is the Hunyuan Deluo golden immortal. Not to mention those innate demon gods born in response to the heavens and the earth. These immortals have cultivated for 10,000 or even 100,000 years, and it took hundreds of calamities before they ascended. It is true that Tianmen is a great fairy gate in Dongsheng Shenzhou, but after all, it is still far from the top level of Honghuang's combat power. Human beings with a little qualification will go to Mount Penglai to learn art. This last batch had to retreat and choose an ordinary fairy gate like Tianmen. Fen Nanyon's wish is to survive the 99 calamities before he is 500 years old, to be promoted to the Mahayana period, and to become a true immortal. After successfully ascending, he will be summoned by the heavenly court. If he is lucky, he may be able to meet the Emperor and Queen of Heaven. The Lord of the Great Desolation has a close relationship with the Emperor and Empress of Heaven, so it will be a matter of time before he sees the Lord of the Great Desolation. Lu Qingning was still staring at the female statue. When she heard these words, she suddenly smiled, agile like a forest elk, lazily, "I can't see the Lord of the Great Desolation, so I still have to ask you." "What does it have to do with me?" Fen Nanyan looked even colder. "You don't live up to yourself, why do you ask me instead?" Yes, Lu Qingning nodded, her eyebrows and eyes were bent, and she said in a light voice, "What does it have to do with you? What is the dog's name?" Lu Qingning, Fen Nanyan was a little unbelievable, and even more angry. "Listen to what you said, you were indeed impregnated by the demonic energy of the demon cultivator, and you are so rebellious. There is no such thing as my immortal cultivation." The demeanor of the winner. He looked at Lu Qingning, frowning tightly, always felt that she was a little different from before. As my junior sister Zhao Wu said, Lu Qingning has a crush on him. As a princess of a subjugated country, she has been influenced by the etiquette of the palace since she was a child, and she never oversteps. She is even more cautious when facing him. How is this going? Lu Qingning, you don't need to make such a fuss. Fen Nanyan slowed down his tone. Your inner alchemy is gone. If you are expelled from the fairy gate by the master, I can also find a family for you to settle you down. Fen Nanyan, elder sister, turned around and looked at him coldly. How do you know that seventh junior sister is abolished? How do you know that she is not qualified to see the co-lord of the wild? The reason why the co-lord is because he has great love in his heart. When did you become so narrow-minded? Master, Fen Nanyan paused, her voice became cold again. It was Lu Qingning who seriously injured junior sister. If not for junior sister's luck, she would have already become the dead soul of Moxiu's subordinates. Why don't I say something to her? I should have killed her. Master retreats. I shall be in charge. Eldest sister snorted coldly. You are not qualified to beat and kill seventh junior sister. If you are not convinced, you can compete with me in the arena, or wait for master to come out and then decide. After finishing speaking, she took Lu Qingning's hand and ignored Fen Nanyan. Seventh junior sister, let's go. Besides, second junior brother, today you are disrespectful. Go to Siguya and reflect for 4 hours by yourself. Lu Qingning withdrew her gaze and smiled. I'm sorry for the trouble, senior sister. She followed the elder sister to the pharmacy and got the pills for recuperating the body. Several disciples of the medicine hall looked her up and down and whispered. This is Lu Qingning who failed to frame her little junior sister but was captured by Moxiu. I heard that she is a princess of subjugation, but I didn't expect her thoughts to be so vicious. I guess she just sees that junior sister Chao is more talented than her, and she is more favored than her, so she wants to get rid of junior sister Chao. Hee, it's a pity, stealing a chicken is not a loss. Lu Qingning pretended not to hear it at all. She was still quietly absorbing the spiritual energy and circulating her danshan. Seventh junior sister, I believe in your character. After leaving the medicine hall, the senior sister looked dignified and her voice sank, but do you have evidence? Lu Qingning shook her head slightly, no, but if you can trust me, big sister, I am already very content. If people echo what they say, the rumors will become true. But elder sister hesitated to speak, and sighed softly, if I had known that such a thing would happen, I should have gone with you. Lu Qingning stuffed the pill into her mouth, and the moment the pill touched her taste buds, a strong bitter taste permeated her, her calm expression split instantly, and she wanted to spit out the medicine. However, the elder sister had sharp eyesight and quick hands, one hand immediately covered her mouth, and the fingers of the other hand touched her throat again, and the pill slipped into her stomach. Lu Qingning. She fell silent, wanting to stay away from this elder sister very much. Seventh junior sister, I didn't expect you to be so afraid of suffering. The senior sister joked, I used to drink medicine when I was injured, didn't I ask someone to pour it down? In the past, someone fed me candied fruit when I drank medicine. Lu Qingning held her chin and smiled, so it's just been bitter for a while. Oh, eldest sister nodded slightly, where is this person now? Has he also joined the immortal gate? He's Lu Qingning's words stopped suddenly, he. She suddenly found that he did not exist in her memory, but her subconscious was full of him. She seems to have forgotten someone. If you don't want to say it, then don't say it. The elder sister patted her on the shoulder and comforted her, when the master is out of the customs, we. At this moment, there was a sound of Qiang, and a white light shot straight into the sky. The elder sister got up suddenly, her eyes locked tightly on the white light. Master is out of customs, it seems that there is another breakthrough, let's go to the front hall. Daoist Hanshen successfully broke through the pass, which also attracted the attention of the neighboring ferry gates of Tianmen, and the immortals came in droves to congratulate. Hanshen is indeed the most talented among us, and has broken through to the middle stage of true immortality. Hanshen's vision is also very good. The little girl I took in a few days ago has entered the nascent soul stage in just a few months, and her ascension to immortality is just around the corner. The white light dissipated, and a white shadow fell on the ground. Master. Welcome Master to leave the customs. Daoist Hanshen is more than 3,000 years old, but he looks less than 30 years old on the outside. He has a handsome face and a cold temperament. Master, Zhao Wu was overjoyed to see the real Han Chen. Master, you have finally left the customs. When Han Chen's eyes fell on her, he became softer. I didn't expect Xiao Wu to be at the peak of nascent soul stage now. Zhao thanked the master for accepting me as an apprentice. Zhao was very respectful. If there is no master's kindness of reinvention, I am afraid that I would have been captured by the demon cultivator. Master, you don't know what happened during your retreat. Fen Nanyang stepped forward and quickly told the whole story. Lu Qingning's thoughts are vicious. Master, please forgive me. As expected, Han Chen's face darkened. Lu Qingning, kneel down. His voice was full of spiritual power, and the impact was extremely strong. The elder sister's expression changed, and she stood in front of Lu Qingning. Master, seventh junior sister just woke up, I can't stand you. Before she could finish her words, Lu Qingning raised her hand and pushed her aside, enduring Han Chen's pressure. Seventh junior sister. Boom. Lu Qingning let out a muffled snort, but her back was still straight, her meridians made a clear sound, and in the next moment, a vast soup of spiritual energy rushed in, filling her whole body with a swish. It was only a split second, and all internal injuries were restored. Breakthrough. After the nascent soul stage, there is the transformation spirit stage. Huh. The crowd fell silent, and someone let out a surprised doubt. Lu Qingning opened her eyes and smiled slightly, thank you for helping me break through. Chaogiri opened his eyes wide, and only disbelief remained in his pupils. Lu Qingning was originally only in the middle stage of nascent soul, and her cultivation base was lower than hers. How could she break through to transform into a god in just a few minutes? Han Chen remained silent, frowning. Obviously, such a situation has never been seen in his cultivation career. Han Chen, this little girl looks good in old age. Suddenly, a woman next to him smiled and said, if you despise her, you might as well give her to me. I haven't had a direct disciple yet. As soon as the sentence came out, everyone was shocked. The one who spoke was the real Miao, and she was a legend among the fairy gates of Dongsheng Shenzhou. She formed the alchemy at the age of 6, and broke through the nascent soul stage at the age of 15. Now she is only 300 years old, but she is already in the first stage of a true immortal, much stronger than the real Han Chen. Han Chen frowned even tighter. Before he could speak, Lu Qingning took a step forward. Disciple pays respects to master. Okay, Qiao Yu laughed. Han Chen and I are old acquaintances, and he won't be unhappy if you call me master. Han Chen took a deep breath and said coldly, naturally. Zhao Wu smiled reluctantly. Since the 7th and 7th senior sisters are fine, I am also very happy. I only hope that the 7th senior sister can ignore the past and continue to take me on missions together. Lu Qingning should obviously be crippled. Which step went wrong? Xiao Wu, Fen Nanyang frowned upon hearing the words, she is no longer your 7th senior sister. Have you forgotten what she did to you last time? 2nd senior brother, master, it's really not 7th senior sister's fault. Xiao Wu's eyes were flushed. It's all the fault of Moxiu. 7th senior sister was just bewitched for a while, and Moxiu is insidious and cunning. I started preaching to my disciples in front of the old man. Han Chen, you discipline your disciples. Qiao Yu swept his eyes away and said with a smile, let the old man hear it again. Don't blame the old man for being rude. The cultivation base of Qinyu is higher than him, and Han Chen has no choice but to back down. Xiao Wu, shut up. Asajari could only shut up, pinching his palm with his fingernails. She looked at Lu Qingning, who was taken away by the real person of Qiao Yu. Her downcast eyelashes covered her malicious eyes. So what if Lu Qingning was lucky enough to be accepted as an apprentice by the real Miao? Reputation has also been ruined. And Lu Qingning couldn't prove her innocence at all. She still won in the end. Zhao Wu pursed his lips. She had to think of a way to make Lu Qingning completely disappear from Tianmen. No one knew that Jun Muqian and Ying Zijin, who were standing on the 9 heavens, had a panoramic view of the scene. It's really a boring method. Jun Muqian clicked his tongue. It's been so many years, but I haven't made any progress. Everything in the world has its own trajectory, and the powerful intervention will destroy the natural rules, and it will be counterproductive. Natural selection, survival of the fittest. If there is no struggle between races, it will lead to extinction. So at the level of her and Ying Zijin, unless there is a disaster that affects the universe, they will not intervene. Jun Muqian said lightly, I used to be a small person, who would be born noble. Yes, there is no one. Ying Zijin looked at Lu Qingning firmly, and suddenly chuckled, I see. Jun Muqian raised his head, what did you see? She is born with one more soul than others, otherwise she will disappear in thin air when she dies. Ying Zijin closed her eyes. Now that her 7 souls have been gathered, the last 3 souls are left, one of which is with you, one soul is with me, and the other soul is in another very interesting world, we haven't visited yet. Someone paid a great price to be able to save her. Having said that, Ying Zijin fell silent in a rare way, and slowly turned his head to look at the woman in purple on the opposite side. That's it, then I'll help you with this. Jun Muqian looked lazily, and smiled, let her soul stay in the prehistoric for a while, and I will cleanse her tendons and forge a new life fan. Ying Zijin laughed silently, okay, let's go together. At that time, Jun Muqian suddenly looked up at the sky, you are dead, and I am also afraid that you will not come back. If I can bring you back, I am willing to give anything. Yang Zijin's eyelashes moved slightly. Later, I learned that there was a way, and I was thinking that if I find you one day, I must beat you up. Junmukian said again, otherwise, all my tears for you will be wasted. Yang Zijin pondered for a moment, then slowly said, I haven't seen you cry yet, let me see you cry again. Junmukian. Don't stop anyone, she will kill this person. The news that Lu Qingning was accepted as an apprentice by Daoist Qiao spread throughout all the fairy sects in Dongsheng Shenzhou within half a day. The real Miao gave her a lot of cheats and taught her how to practice. In just half a month's time, Lu Qingning made a lot of breakthroughs. Today, she went to the pharmacy to get medicine, and met Chao when she went out. At this point in time, there was no one around. Lu Qingning, I have already said that it is useless for you to argue with me. Zhao Wu smiled brightly at her, look, the master is biased towards me, and the second senior brother and other senior brothers are also biased towards me. You what else? Lu Qingning looked at her very calmly, without saying a word. No matter how hard you try, you can't compare to me. Zhao Wu said softly, why don't you invite yourself to go down the mountain and become an ordinary person? Do you think that you will be able to go smoothly all the time if you are accepted as an apprentice by the real person of Miao? Before Lu Qingning could respond, a lazy voice sounded. Where did the lotus essence come from? It's really smoke to the seed. Immediately Qing, Yahuixui and Ying Huang still have a fight. There are not many fantasy parts, and the 2 or 3 chapters are over. I found that writing is really use it or lose it. I haven't written fantasy for a long time and some can't write T-T. See you tomorrow. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1055. Chapter 1037 Sci-fi powers into the prehistoric world. Protect the short, support the back. The voice appeared very abruptly, as if it came out of nowhere. Chao Wu was startled, and suddenly raised his head. Who? Shu. It was also at the moment when she raised her head that the surrounding environment suddenly changed. It is no longer a mountain lined with immortal sects, but a cosmic galaxy with thousands of stars spinning and flowing. Naturally, this is not the real universe, but a phantom created when the Lord of the Great and the Wild raises his hand. Lu Qingning. You really have a collusion with Moxiu. Zhao Wu kept retreating, his voice trembling. I said you were injured so badly, and I stabbed you again. How could you return to the cloud gate? He has cultivated a demon. Lu Qingning was also surprised by the change in the scene, but she remained calm. Hearing Zhao Wu's exasperated words, she turned her head, but before she could speak, Zhao Wu flew backwards all of a sudden. With a bang, she fell to the ground with a bright red slap mark on her face. Zhao Wu was stunned and didn't react at all. Besides Lu Qingning, she didn't see anyone else. Zhao Wu took a deep breath. Lu Qingning, what kind of magical art have you learned to be so vicious? You attacked me in broad daylight, and I will report to the master and let him kill you and the demon behind you. Build. Snapped. As soon as this sentence fell, there was another crisp applause. Lu Qingning narrowed her eyes slightly. Who said that demonic cultivators are evil and immortal cultivators are good? He heard the voice from before chuckle. It's just that the path of cultivation they choose is different. Demonic cultivators also have kind-hearted people, they are all life. Who is better than others? Noble. I don't care if the magic cultivator you mentioned is a good person, but you are not a good person. Shua. The space suddenly fluctuated, a crack suddenly appeared, and a figure stepped out of it. Purple clothes and gorgeous hair, divine elegance. Chao Wu was so frightened that his face turned pale. Who are you? I don't see this kind of method that can't be put on the stage. The most Junmukian leaned forward slightly. If you win with martial arts and wisdom, and subdue the opponent with your fists, I will think highly of you. With that little thought, you can play with a few idiots from the immortal sect in the palm of your hand. So you can be complacent and complacent. Zhao Wu was stepped on the pain point, his face turned pale, and he was even more furious. You are the demon cultivator behind Lu Qingning? This is a fairy gate, my master and real person Qiao are here, how dare you, a little demon cultivator, if you are presumptuous here, let me go. Jun Muqian seemed to be enduring great torture, she sighed softly, I really don't like talking nonsense with idiots. She didn't look at Zhao Wu, but just said lightly, get out. You, Chaogiri didn't even say a complete sentence, and suddenly fell into a black hole, disappearing in an instant. The world is so quiet. Only then did Jun Muqian turn around, slowly stretched her waist, and clicked her tongue. I have never understood how this kind of lotus essence behaves the same way in front of men and women, and is still a fool in the end. Lu Qingning looked at the place where the black hole disappeared, and blinked. I don't know where the co-master sent her. Give it to her stupid master and brother. Jun Muqian turned his head and raised his eyebrows. The female statue didn't carve out my real face, so how can Miss Lu recognize me? I can feel it. Lu Qingning smiled, to tell the truth, I have telepathy. After a pause, she asked, the co-lord helped me, but because I knew the co-lord. With the master of the great and the wild, she doesn't need to say anything, the other party can tell that she is not from this world. No, you and I just met. Jun Muqian also smiled, and she said softly, I help you because I want to know your old friend, and also because I empathize with the friendship between you. The words friendship between life and death are easy to write, but it is really too difficult to do. She is also used to seeing too many false friendships, brothers turning against each other, brothers killing each other. Old friend. Lu Qingning was taken aback, but I can't remember anything. Memory is sometimes unreliable, but feelings are true. Since we are old friends, there will always be a day of reunion, even if it is the way of heaven. Jun Muqian suddenly raised his hand, and tapped Lu Qingning's brows lightly, and your soul is too weak, I will refine it for you. Lu Qingning accepted it graciously, and she smiled and said, then I would like to thank the co-master, my cultivation is too low now, and I can't help the co-master. Why don't I treat the co-master to a meal? My cooking skills are still good of. You know how to cook. Jun Muqian's expression suddenly came alive. Okay, let's go, I haven't eaten anything delicious for a long time, come here. With a wave of her hand, she took Lu Qingning away. At the same time, in the vast universe, Sci-fi and Yuhuixu set off from the eternal continent, the world of spiritual cultivation, and embarked on the road to the great desolation. Yuhuixu is now at the pinnacle of the spiritual god realm, while Sci-fi has reached a higher level and can roam freely in the universe. This universe is pitch black, and there's nothing to see here. Sci-fi commented, you, follow me carefully, and be careful not to be swallowed by the turbulence of the universe. Okay. Yuhuixu nodded slightly, with a dignified expression, be careful, we are almost reaching the prehistoric universe, and we must have attracted the attention of the masters here. Sure enough, after this sentence fell, suddenly, the light at the junction of the universe brightened. At the same time, a cold voice sounded. The flood ahead, who is coming? With a swish, a slender figure appeared in the vast universe, blocking the way of Sci-fi and Yuhuixu. It was a tall and straight man, dressed in a golden robe, with a dignified temperament. He has deep facial features, a handsome face, and a faint violence lingers between his eyebrows and eyes. Sci-fi narrowed his eyes and instantly recognized the man's identity. Great Emperor. The body is the Emperor Jun of the Great Sun Golden Crow. This should be a god that existed in the myths and legends of Daxia, but now it really appeared in front of their eyes. He didn't just come alone, behind him, there were hundreds of thousands of heavenly soldiers and generals. This prehistoric desert has been silent for a long time, and the Emperor has already forgotten what it's like to fight and kill. At this time, a second voice sounded, with a slight sneer, today, I just want to revisit it. With the sound of Shua, another figure appeared. The second man who appeared was somewhat similar to Dijun, but his eyebrows and eyes were even more bewitching, forming a natural majesty, looking down upon the world. Dijun's younger brother, the other great son Golden Crow, Dong Huang Tai. Surnamed Yu, remember that incident, Sci's eyes moved slightly. The stories that only exist on paper in our world may very well be another real world. Every book, every folklore must have traces to follow. Although each world is unconnected and runs independently without interfering with each other, due to the occasional disorder of the laws of time and space, there will be existences like traversers. Therefore, the different world will become a story, vividly on the paper, and spread in this world. There are also some novel chronicles, which seem absurd and have gods, ghosts, and immortals, but these may also be real, because news from other worlds will be transmitted to this world through dreams and other signals, and finally recorded by the writer. Therefore, after Sci inherited the power of the goddess of 9 heavens 3 years ago, she already knew that whether it is the myth of Daxia, the myth of Dongsang or the myth of the ancient western continent, it must be other things and people that exist in the real world. And they may be myths and legends from another world. Yeah, Yu nodded slowly. It seems that we met the truth today. How about it? I'll go back and call someone. No, Sci said flatly, if you and I come here, the law will be disordered. If we go to war, the result will only be worse. We will also have an endless scene with Hong Huang. At that time, the world will fall apart. Little thing, look at me. Yu. It turns out to be His Majesty the Eastern Emperor. I'm sorry and disrespectful. Sci leaned forward, his fox eyes curled up. I read about you in the book, and the book said that you are a noble god, the great sun Golden Crow. That's right. Dong Huang Tai put his hands behind his back, with a proud expression on his face. I am an innate demon god, so I am naturally honorable. We have a genre of novels called prehistoric flow. Sci went on to say, you are a quasi-sage bred by the sun star in it, in charge of the chaos clock, the congenital spiritual treasure, and lead a group of monsters together with your brother Dijun, ruling the ancient heaven. That is really majestic and chic. Yu's unchanging expression for thousands of years was slightly shattered. You guys have vision. Dong Huang Tai became interested. Oh? I didn't expect that the book was so popular when the emperor was with you. Come and listen, what did you talk about? Yu tugged at the corner of Sci's clothes. When did you read these novels? I saw that the name of this universe was the same as that of the genre of the novel, so I paid attention to it. Sci calmed down. I have always been a fast reader, but I didn't expect it to come in handy. You see, these emperors all have something in common. Just blow rainbow farts. Yu. As expected of you. Since His Majesty the Eastern Emperor is so wise and mighty, the gods descended from the earth, and his aura is magnificent. Sci looked calm. So can you make it easier for us to go there? Naturally. Dong Huang Tai replied quickly. How bad can a person who understands the strength and appearance of this emperor be? You must have no problem. Dijun couldn't take it anymore, and said, brother. His younger brother likes to be praised by others, and it has not changed after hundreds of thousands of years. Dong Huang Tai. When he recalled what he said, his expression sank. No, this emperor cannot decide on this matter. Sci raised his eyebrows. Ah. Your nose will grow longer if you keep saying it. If you touch your nose, you will be poked into another world. Dong Huang Tai immediately touched his nose, and when he found that everything was normal, he snorted, nonsense, this emperor is the most beautiful man in the prehistoric world, how can his nose grow? Sci dragged out his tone, and said unhurriedly, really? Fake, he is after Tongtian. Dijun took a step forward, his long eyes swept away. Why did you come to Hong Huang? Over the years, He has also traveled to many lower planes and other universes, and met many powerful people from other universes. But the girl in front of her, her aura is integrated with the world, making it impossible to see through. This kind of situation has only been seen in Xiao Qian and her friend, Shen Xuan Tianxia. Dijun was very vigilant. Could it be that people from other universes want to conquer the prehistoric world? My friend is here. I don't worry about her. I must come and have a look. As I fucking smiled slightly. I will leave after confirming that she is fine. I won't enter your reincarnation system, and when my friend's souls are fully recovered, I will pick them up and leave. Hearing these words, Dijun and Dong Huangtai looked at each other. The two exchanged glances, and Dijun nodded slightly. So I came here for my friends. I'll go ask Xiao Qian, brother, you take them to the heavenly court, so I can entertain them. Both sides are actually unwilling to fight, just because it will cause greater disaster. Let's go. As I fucking took Yu Huixiu's hand, blinked, I came to the world of mythology, and I'll take a stroll along the way. On the other side, in the human world, Dongsheng Shenzhou is in the Cloud Gate. Immortal Hanshen is teaching his disciples. A month ago, Lu Qingning was taken in as an apprentice by Immortal Miao, which hurt the face of Tianmen, and made Immortal Hanshen unable to breathe out. Master Fennanyan bowed respectfully, please give me instructions, Master, I will do my best. A distinguished guest from the Penglai Immortal sect came here today, so don't rush the distinguished guest. Han Chen said slowly. Nan Yan, Xiao Wu's injuries are still not healed, you must take care of her carefully. Fennanyan responded, I will definitely take care of Xiao Wu with all my heart, please rest assured, Master, since Lu Qingning has already gone to another fairy gate, she will not target Xiao Wu again. During this period of time, his mood was also a little complicated. Although he didn't see Lu Qingning, he learned from other disciples that Lu Qingning had entered the first stage of the God transformation realm in just 1 month. And it took him 5 full years to cultivate to the last stage of the God transformation realm. Okay, you've made up your mind. Han Chen nodded slightly. There is one more thing, as a teacher. Bang dang sounded loudly, interrupting Han Chen's words. It was the sound of heavy objects falling. The disciples stood up suddenly, thinking that there was an enemy attack, but when they saw the people on the ground clearly, they were all stunned. Little junior sister. Why did little junior sister fall from the sky? How is this going? Fennanyan's expression changed, and he stepped forward to hug Chao Wu into his arms. Little Wu. Chao Wu passed out, and there were 2 clear palm marks on her face. Master, Fennanyan raised his head and said angrily, Lu Qingning must be jealous of Xiao Wu for hurting her. With Xiao Wu's status and cultivation in the fairy gate, there will be no one else except Lu Qingning, and she will all worship her. Immortal Wonderful Words has become a teacher, yet he still has such vicious thoughts? Master, she must be punished severely and take revenge for Xiao Wu. Han Chen frowned, and his voice became cold. This matter, I know the seriousness of this matter. If I did something wrong and hit someone, I must be punished. What punishment? A lazy voice fell from above. I beat you, and I will bear it. I wrote this and suddenly found that the supporting roles in the first 2 books can also play a cameo role. 2333. See you tomorrow. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1056. The sound resounded above the mountains and among the valleys, carrying a majestic and vast spiritual power like the sea, echoing in the ears of hundreds of thousands of immortal cultivators. What happened? Who is it? It seems that something happened at the Cloud Taying Gate. Hurry up, come with me. Tianmen has Daoist Hanshen in charge, so there shouldn't be any problems, but this voice. Shua Shua. It was the sound of sword energy piercing through the space. Immortal cultivators came from all directions with their swords and arrived at Taeun Peak one after another. However, only his voice was heard, not his person. Han Chen's cultivation had already reached the level of a true immortal, and at this moment there was a moment of creepiness. His voice was squeezed out from between his teeth. Who is pretending to be a ghost on my cloud stepping peak? Show up soon. Boom. Before finishing the sentence, the space in front of Daoist Han Chen suddenly exploded, and he was completely unprepared, and fell to the ground. Han Chen opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. Master, Fen Nyan's expression changed. Master, you. All the cultivators were also shocked. 90% of the cultivators here are below the stage of transforming gods. Even before anyone appeared, this move had seriously injured the real Han Chen. How could they be against him? The voice came again. I'm still wondering where the lotus essence in the nascent soul realm got its confidence. It turned out to be from you. The master Junmukian stood on the cloud and said lightly, how can you be so conceited and complacent to shoulder the important task of cultivating immortals? A master, if you want to preach, receive karma, and dispel doubts, what kind of master are you without any opinions? Han Chen has been practicing for a long time, and he has never been scolded like this for so many years. Even his master cared for him because of his outstanding talent. Especially in front of so many people, he only felt that the eyes around him were like thorns on his back, making him extremely embarrassed. I have never offended you, so why do you insult me? Han Chen gritted his teeth, blood was still flowing down the corner of his mouth. Are you trying to abolish my golden elixir? When he said this, there was deep fear in his eyes. Only he knew that this person was so powerful that he might not be able to shake him even with the power of all the immortal sects in Dongsheng Shenzhou. Could it be that he is a person from heaven? I don't need to take action. Junmukian smiled slightly. With your mind, you will fail the next time you cross the catastrophe. Everything in the world has its own rules, so why do you need me to do it yourself? These words made Han Chen's hair stand on end, and his whole body was as cold as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. The other party actually knew. After his breakthrough this time, he fell into a deeper bottleneck. He didn't dare to break through, because his state of mind had never been able to reach the peak of a true immortal. Even if he breaks through, he can't survive thunder tribulation. Your Excellency. Han Chen reluctantly supported the ground, trying to stand up, but at this moment, his body seemed to be pressed down by a jack, and his bones were about to be crushed. Woke you up? Junmukian's voice was still very light. Lie down. All the cultivators looked at Han Chen, who didn't even have the ability to struggle, and fell straight on the ground. Fen Nyan couldn't get close at all, and with his strength in the stage of transformation, he was even more vulnerable. Just when the atmosphere was stagnant, suddenly, auspicious clouds gathered in the sky, and the golden light shot into the sky. Z. A golden bird phantom formed in the sky, sacred and inviolable. At the same time, a voice sounded. Xiao Qian. Junmukian raised his head. Brother. Xiao Qian, you guessed right. The distinguished guests you mentioned earlier have entered my prehistoric age. I will ask brother to take them to the heavenly court to rest for a while. Dijun said, they need your help. I'm going back to heaven. The speed is beyond my expectation. Junmukian raised his eyebrows in surprise. I'm coming right now. Okay, Dijun responded, and Faxiang's real body disappeared again. The mountains were even more dead silent. All immortal cultivators seek immortality and ask, stick to your heart. Junmukian glanced, you must not bully the weak, otherwise the way of heaven is above, and there will be punishment. After she finished saying this, her figure flashed and disappeared from Ta Yunfen. After a full 10 minutes of silence, the immortal cultivators on the mountain gradually came back to their senses, but their minds were still in a lost state. Just now that was. Da-ri Jinwu Dharma. I am absolutely not mistaken, it is His Majesty the Emperor of Heaven. Why not His Majesty the Eastern Emperor? His Majesty the Eastern Emperor is also the great sun Golden Crow. For cultivators, as long as they have not ascended for a day, they are still mere mortals. And even if one becomes a true immortal after ascension, it is not possible to be ranked in the immortal class and become a member of the list of gods. Most of the immortals are loose immortals, and they just find a mountain to continue their practice. Heavenly Emperor, that is an existence that can only be seen from a distance. However, that's not enough. Maybe His Majesty the Emperor of Heaven will come to find the person himself and please go back. All the cultivators looked at each other, their pupils trembling slightly. Lord of Great Desolation. The owner of that voice just now turned out to be the legendary Lord of the Great and the Wild. At this time, heaven. This is my Emperor's Nantian Gate. The Eastern Emperor Tai flicked his sleeves. This emperor has redesigned this place, and it looks much better than before. Well, Nantian Gate. I fucking took out his camera and took a photo of the magnificent Golden Gate. I will ask my master to build a gate like this for the gate of Ghost Valley later on. Dong Huang Tai is very satisfied that someone can appreciate his aesthetics. I hit it off with you as friends, and I will take you to my treasure house in a while. His Majesty the Eastern Emperor. A young man suddenly appeared. I wonder who these two are. Dong Huang Tai was about to introduce. This dress. I fucking's eyes lit up, and he clenched his left fist and struck the palm of his right. Neza. Is there anything to be excited about? Dong Huang Tai was a little shocked. What? Why do you still know him? Don't your novels describe the emperor at all? Yu Huixia glanced at him. The description of you is probably not 1/10 of the description of him. Dong Huang Tai looked at Neza quietly. But this Neza is a bit big. Fu rubbed his chin, walked around the young man, and finally commented, it's not as cute as in novels and cartoons. See, the Neza in it is not as high as my knees. Alas, it won't be cute when it grows up. Neza. He is not deaf, he can hear. These two are his distinguished guests. The Eastern Emperor Tai snorted slightly. Just now she praised me for being wise and powerful, so I personally led the way. Neza was silent. Can understand. Don't move, let me take some photos. I fucking took a few photos of Neza. Go back and show off to Brother 9. Wow. There was an excited voice. With sharp eyes and quick hands, I fucking hugged the black shadow that was rushing towards her. When she took a closer look, she found that it was a majestic dog. Before she could touch the dog's head, the dog was torn off by another hand. The roaring dog. The Eastern Emperor took a look at the aggrieved Xiao Tiangu who was lying on the ground. How many times has my emperor said, remember to keep the dog on a leash when you walk the dog? You didn't put the dog on the leash this time, and you will be fined 1 month's salary. I'm bothering you. Two distinguished guests. The handsome young man who followed Xiao Shangu smiled apologetically at Si fucking and Yu Huixu, and when he turned his head, his expression had already cooled down. Xiao Shangu, come back with me and face the wall and think about the past. When will this dog's habit of attacking beauties change? Woof, roaring sky dog reluctantly shook his paw towards Si Fu, and was forcibly taken away from the scene by the young man. Si fucking also waved to it, smiling, and took a few more photos along the way. The myth has become real, and I still feel a little illusory. Yu Huixu said lightly. I don't know which world's mythological novel the real story that happened in our world will be. Si fucking stretched his waist. When Sister Ning and sister are back, we will sail to other worlds when we have time, and see which world has our stories. The two followed the Eastern Emperor Tai all the way deep into the heavenly court and continued to visit. Oh, I still have a guard. My guard can go up to the hall and down to the kitchen. It's not bad to be able to fight. Dong Huang Tai said again, it's just that I'm taking care of children recently, so it's inconvenient to come out to pick up guests. Wait for you to go down, come to visit again, the emperor will let you see and see. Si fucking was looking at the beautiful scenery of the heaven. Ugh. The air suddenly fluctuated. Her eyes changed slightly, and her hands were already bent, ready to launch an attack at any time. In the next second, a purple figure appeared in front of her, and immediately approached without any precautions. We finally meet. Sci-fucking was slightly taken aback, and her tense arms relaxed a little, but she didn't let go of her ready-to-attack posture. She asked, "When did we meet?" "Yes, of course I have." Junmukien laughed. "We are predestined. For example, I know the purpose of your coming to Honghuang. Let me introduce you. My surname is Jun and my name is Mukien. You can call me Xiaoqian." Sci-fucking finally put down his hand. "I came to save my friend." "I know, so you don't have to worry. I was just busy with this matter." Junmukien raised his eyebrows. "One day in the sky, 1 year in the mortal world. You stayed here for 2 hours, and several months have passed in the mortal world. I have already refined the soul of your friend, and I think this soul will be able to return to its place soon." "Thank you." Xiaoqian Sci-fucking breathed a long sigh of relief. She blinked. "Then what do you need my help for?" "Ching ching, it is indeed very important for me to bring you here." Junmukien held her hand with a serious and sincere expression. "You are so powerful, why don't you join our Space Guard team? Use your modern in human terms, it's not a loss if you invest in shares." Sci-fucking Space Guardians. What's the name of the second grade? But it does sound like a great deal. No, any name with the word universe in front of it would be quite ferocious. Sci-fucking nodded slightly. "I don't know how many people are there in this cosmic guard. They are all teams, so how come they need 100,000 soldiers and horses?" "I'm ashamed to say, there are only 2 of them." Junmukien sighed. "I got the other one in through trickery, coercion, and profit. She has always disliked my name, but I think this name is very good." Sci-fucking She is also a little disgusted. "It's too high school." Sci-fucking took a look at Junmukien, confidently. "I don't want it, it sounds better if you replace it with the guards. Change it." Junmukien. No one understands her naming aesthetics, and she feels very sad. "What about the other person?" Sci-fu tilted his chin. "Can I see you?" "Of course, she is in the underworld." Junmukien nodded. "When I was a little guy, we worked together to overthrow the underworld, and she was waiting for you, so she stopped by the underworld." She waved her hand. "Go, we will go too." Sci-fucking and Yuhuixu looked at each other. They got up, and immediately followed Junmukien to leave the heavenly court. The underworld is not as gloomy as in novels and TV dramas, and some buildings are even more glorious and sacred than heaven. "Yingzijin, come out." Junmukien stood on the Wangchuan River, folded his arms. "I said it earlier, the name I chose will definitely be recognized by others, and there are 2 more people in our space guards." Shua. All the souls of the underworld looked in this direction. Yuhuixu immediately stood behind Sci-fucking, using her to block herself. "This name is really too shameful." Sci-fucking asked in a low voice. "Actually, you don't want to join, right? But Xiaoqian helped Sister Ning, and I will definitely repay." Yuhuixu was expressionless, "But you will get used to it. Compared with the Guardian of the Universe, your title is much more normal." Sci-fu leaned against her waist. "Are you sisters? Are you tearing me down at this time?" Yuhuixu said lightly, "Of course." Before she could say a word, suddenly, a spiritual energy shot up into the sky, attacking Junmukien directly. Junmukien turned sideways, avoiding the aura. "Hey, why are you hitting me?" Sci-fucking saw everything in his eyes, and patted Yuhuixu on the shoulder. "Sister, at least you won't hit me for a disagreement." Yuhuixu. The girl walked out slowly, her expression calm. Sci-fucking's fox eyes lit up all of a sudden. Another beauty. Yuhuixu pressed her head and sighed inaudibly. "I'm sick again." She could never forget that after she fought with Sci-fucking for the first time, the other party wanted nothing but pinch her face. Jun Mukian, let's fight, Yang Zijin said flatly. If you mention that stupid name again, you will be finished. Stop, Jun Mukian raised his hand. I just became friends with Ching Ching. You can hit me, but you can't hit us both. Yang Zijin pondered for a second, then suddenly tilted her head. She saw that you were killed by the bomb. Si fucking. Yang Zijin said unhurriedly, then laughed for 2 full hours, saying that he had never seen anyone who blew himself up to death in his life. The air was suddenly quiet. Si fucking squeezed his wrist and smiled. I think we can really fight. Jun Mukian? Jun Mukian, I won't take you with me. See you tomorrow. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1057. Yu Huixiu took a step back, took out the video camera prepared in advance, and was ready to start recording at any time. Jun Mukian. Jun Mukian's smile gradually disappeared. Yang Zijin, how could you betray her? Still not a good girlfriend. Boom. Boom. Buzz. The sudden earthquake of the sky and the earth shocked the prehistoric creatures. On the clear blue sky, 3 groups of light and shadow collided, and a majestic force exploded, covering the entire prehistoric universe. At this time, the 3-star cave in the oblique moon, and the Fankan mountain in Lingtai. The great catastrophe has passed, and Patriarch Bodhi also came out of the mountain again to recruit disciples. At this moment, the disciples all gathered on the top of the mountain, looking at the sky in bewilderment, puzzled. My prehistoric catastrophe has passed, why is there such a big movement today, as if the world has been turned upside down? Could it be that my prehistoric catastrophe is coming again? Impossible, the way of heaven is under the control of my junior sister, and there is no way to figure it out. Could it be that the younger junior brother and the younger junior sister are fighting? Although Mukian, the co-lord of the Great Desolation, is actually higher than Patriarch Bodhi in terms of seniority, but when she was a mortal, she practiced with them for a period of time, so they called her little junior sister. This is called getting used to it, and I haven't changed my mouth. Junior brother should go to Zishan Lingshan, right? A young man doubted. Either he is going to the lower realm to practice, not to mention that junior brother has always doted on junior sister, so he must be reluctant to do anything cruel. They couldn't see who was fighting at all, they could only see 3 groups of lights and shadows. One of the lights and shadows was pinched by the other 2 left and right, and the situation didn't look good. Such movements allowed them to be sure that one of them must have Jun Mukian. But what about the other 2? Who is fighting so hard? It's gone. With junior sister here, Hong Huang will not collapse anyway. The senior brother waved his hand. Whoever he is fighting, junior sister will definitely not suffer. Then, that's not necessarily true. The second senior brother hesitated. For example, that God calculates the world. The elder brother was silent for a while. Oh, yes, God calculates the world. But besides God calculates the world, who is the third person? The brothers and sisters looked at each other, even more at a loss. On the other side, heaven. Dong Huangtai was inspecting the work of the heavenly soldiers and generals. He nodded with satisfaction, but before taking the next step, he heard a loud bang. Dong Huangtai opened his eyes wide. This emperor's Nantianman. Boom. Another series of roars. The majestic and tall Nantian gate just collapsed, and the ground was covered with rubble. Dong Huangtai immediately woke up, angrily said, "Who is free to fight with this emperor?" The heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals were very calm, and had already started to clean up the broken stones. Apparently, things like the Nantianmen being smashed had happened countless times. But that's not all. Dong Huangtai's eyes were about to burst, My emperor's fairyland. Shua Shua. The water in the fairyland of Yaokai evaporated instantly, and the jade in the pond also shattered. It's not over yet, it's just the beginning. Dong Huangtai's eyes twitched, his eyes almost popped out, and the corners of his eyes were bloodshot. My emperor's Lingxiao palace. In just a few seconds, half of the heaven collapsed in the blink of an eye. My lord. Dong Huangtai groaned unsteadily, "Aou. Hurry up. Let's see what is left of my lord's things." Shua. As soon as the sound fell, the dragon roar sounded, and the golden dragon shadow shuttled from the clouds, turning into a handsome young man and landing on the ground. The guardian of the Eastern Emperor, the son of the ancestor dragon, the eldest son of the dragon clan, Au, the great day dragon. Your Majesty, the young man knelt on one knee, his usually cold face cracked slightly. What you said is gone. Boom. His Majesty the Eastern Emperor collapsed on the chair, the light of divine life lost in his eyes. Aou sighed, Your Majesty, you should also. I've already gotten used to it. After all, when gods and demons fight, the favorite place to choose is the heavenly court. Aou, Aou, a little girl came running over, curiously looking at Dong Huangtai who was in great pain. What's wrong with Uncle Dong Huang? This is the daughter of the heavenly emperor and queen of heaven, Yuanyan, who was brought up by the Eastern Emperor Tai's guard, Dai Tianlong Au. Seeing Yuanyan, Aou squatted down, her cold expression melted away, and her tone was gentle. Your Majesty has seen this matter many times and is used to it, just let him calm down. Oh, Yuanyan stretched out her small hand, Uncle Dong Huang, calm down. Why is this emperor so calm? Dong Huangtai's fingers trembled. The heavenly court that this emperor finally built has been destroyed. At this time, Yuanyan suddenly called out, Daddy, Mother. Dijun and 11 he came slowly. Dong Huangtai was still slumped on the chair, without the strength to stand up. What are you in a hurry for? Dijun was calm and calm, he was very calm. Xiaoqian controls the law of creation, and can repair these buildings with a wave of his hand. That's different. Dong Huangtai's voice was squeezed out between his teeth, a little annoyed. The buildings she repaired using the law of creation are based on her aesthetics, and the emperor dare not agree with her aesthetics. Dijun. Zai. Aou. This is true. I didn't expect that the honored guests Xiaoqian attracted would be so powerful. 11 He raised his head with surprise. It seems that there are quite a lot of other masters in the universe. Yeah, Dijun nodded slightly. However, there are very few who can reach Xiaoqian's level, and not all masters have great love. To become the master of the world, one should have great love and protect the common people. Only a heart of sincerity can make the world surrender. Let's go. Dijun stretched out his hand towards 11 We need you and me to send a message to the west. The heavenly emperor and empress disappeared, and Aou also left because she was going to take a child. Only Dong Huangtai was left in grief. No one knew that above the clouds, it was a chase. Stop. Jun Mukian immediately raised her hand. 2 seconds later, she breathed a sigh of relief. Stop fighting, you bully the few with more, and I can't get any cheap. A god who calculates the world, and a goddess of the 9 heavens. The two villains bullied her together. Fucking stopped his hands. Ben was just fighting for fun. After all, she hadn't met an opponent of the same level for a long time, and it was Hardy. I wasn't killed by myself at all. Fu looked at Jun Mukian. Although I thought so at first, I was actually framed by someone. Ying Zijin hummed, and calmly said, this doesn't change the fact that she laughed for a long time after hearing you were killed. Fucking clenched his fists again and rubbed his fists with a smile. You are quite right. Jun Mukian. Okay, she changed her words reluctantly. We won't be called the Space Guardians anymore, let's change our name to Guardian Alliance. Ying Zijin raised his hand and pressed the center of his eyebrows. In fact, it is not much better, but grievances are acceptable. Sister Si fucking said cheerfully, is the filming finished? Wixu has been working as a photographer. After filming this part, she tilted her head and slightly raised her eyebrows at Si fucking, okay, your new movie is ready. This level of war is rare in all universes. It just happened to be a movie material. Movie, Junmookian was a little surprised, you still make movies? What is this called in your technological world? Professional actor Si fucking is obedient and clever, part-time job is to fight monsters. Then we're very similar, I'm a thug by profession. Junmookian pointed to herself, and then to Ying Zijin, she's a professional thug. Ying Zijin, yes. We don't know each other, today we are going to celebrate our universe. Junmookian received Ying Zijin's death eyes, and immediately changed his words, the Guardian Alliance has added 2 new members. In order to welcome Ching Ching and Huixu join, I am treating you today, let's go. 10 minutes later, the 4 of them restrained their breath and came to a restaurant in the mortal world. Open up to eat, Junmookian said, although we don't need to eat at this level of cultivation, we can't live up to the delicious food. On this point, the other 3 people all agreed and reached a rare consensus. Ching Ching is able to come here, presumably the catastrophe in your world has passed. Junmookian thoughtfully, after the catastrophe is over, there will be peace from now on, so there is no need to worry. Ying Zijin saw that Si fucking was staring at the grilled fish on the plate in a daze, so she lowered her voice, what's wrong? My sister. Si fucking said softly, she disappeared to save me. She didn't use the word death. In her heart, Ye Wanlin has always been alive and never left. Ying Zijin was slightly startled, your sister. Yes, I fucking briefly recounted the things between the Eternal Continent and the Earth. I didn't expect that a game would turn into a real world. Although the catastrophe has passed, she has also lost a lot. Junmookian frowned, there is no corpse, and there is no breath of soul, so have you tracked it down? I searched, but I didn't find it. Si fucking hugged his knees, put his chin on them, and shrunk into a small ball. I'm very useless. Don't talk about yourself that way. Junmookian stretched out his hand towards her, with a high spirit, come on, let's try together, there are more people and more power. Si fucking looked at her hand and put his own on it. After a few seconds, both of them opened their eyes. Ying Zijin asked, how? It's strange, with the combined strength of the 2 of us, we can't detect her exact target. A sharp light flashed in Junmu's shallow eyes, and his voice was cold. Could it be another world that has deviated from its original trajectory and destiny? Si fucking frowned, deviating from the original destiny. Well, Junmookian raised 2 fingers, I have only seen 2 such worlds, one is my best friend, and the other is you. The worlds you 2 live in are very similar. When the seat was looking for her, he accidentally entered your place by mistake, so the trip was delayed. Hearing this, Si fucking raised his eyebrows, that's when you saw me being bombed to death. Junmookian nodded, that's right. Let's think about it, then you must have laughed at me for a long time. Si fucking dragged his voice, then when he told Ying, he laughed again. Junmookian coughed lightly, actually, it doesn't have to be so clear. There are very few worlds that deviate from the original trajectory and destiny, Ying Zijin said lightly, because they are separated, it is impossible to determine the future direction of that world. Si fucking frowned even tighter, so my sister is in such a place. It can't be wrong. Ying Zijin nodded slightly, the world deviates from the established trajectory of destiny, not because of changes in the world, but because of people. Junmookian looked at Si fucking, at that time you were killed by the bomb and your soul returned, so I couldn't enter your world. The light in Si fucking's pupils moved slightly, and he murmured softly, so that's how it is. She lowered her head, looking a little lonely, then I can't find my sister at all. Don't worry, you can do it. Junmookian patted her on the shoulder, and nodded Ying Zijin with the other hand, did you see, she died for me at that time, so I still brought her back. I even beat her up, let her go her own way, and used the talisman I made against me. It was too much. Yang Zijin glanced at her, but didn't expose her. What can be done? I can only spoil it. Just don't mention the name Guardians of the Universe. Yes, I fucking smiled. Sister said, nothing can trap her, we will definitely meet again, but she felt sorry for Ye Wanlin. Ye Wanlin never told her about her childhood, she was well protected at that time, and she didn't have any idea about it. Ye Wanlin blocked all the darkness for her. She wanted to grow up and become stronger to protect Ye Wanlin, but this day never came. Yu Huixiu knew Si fucking's inner thoughts. She raised her hand, and gently patted Si fucking's back. I will accompany you. Although the exact location and situation cannot be tracked down, it is not impossible, Yang Zijin said slowly. We need to find a few things. Si fucking suddenly raised his head. What is it? I'm counting. Yang Zijin smiled slightly. One of them is in Honghuang. Go and see your friend first, and then we set off. Of course, she and Jun Mukian have to help with this favor. 1 day in the sky, 1 year in the mortal world. With Jun Mukian's help in refining her soul, Lu Qingning has now reached the peak of the tribulation stage. You only need to go through the 99 calamities before you can be promoted to the Mahayana stage, and the day of ascension is waiting. Tianmen was taught a lesson by Jun Mukian, and it spread throughout the world, and no immortal cultivator would come to Tianmen to learn from a teacher. During this year, Cloud Stepping sect has disappeared. Lu Qingning doesn't care about Tianmen, she has been practicing. The only thing that bothers her is that there is a man who can't get rid of, who has been following her. She just saw him seriously injured and dying, fell on the side of the road, and kindly saved his life, and she was glued to him. Shua. I warn you. Lu Qingning turned around, held a wooden stick, pointed at the man opposite, gritted her teeth. If you follow me again, I will break your leg. Sure enough, what was written in the book was correct. Don't pick up wild men on the side of the road, it will be bad luck. The man raised his head slowly. Miserable or the second senior brother. Chasing a wife takes 7 or 8 worlds. Recently, I got inspiration, and I am perfecting the hero design of the new book. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1058. It is undeniable that he has an extremely handsome face, sharp but beautiful features, deep eyebrows and eyes. Lu Qingning has to admit that this is a face that has accurately stepped on her aesthetic point. But if you feel sorry for a man, that is the beginning of misfortune, and it will be bad luck. She has also read many novels while practicing. In some novels, she picked up a man and her family was wiped out. In other novels, she picked up a man and ended up being dismembered. What is a man? Of course money and life matter. I said, what exactly do you want to do? Lu Qingning's eyes were cold. Don't you have a job of your own? I don't want you to follow. After I woke up, I forgot everything, but I fell in love with you the first time I saw you. You saved me, and I should never leave you. He was silent for a moment, then smiled. Sister, don't abandon me. I don't need you to stay forever. Lu Qingning said seriously. You said your name is Tan Jingmo, which means that you have not completely lost your memory. Tan's surname is not very big, and you have already ascended to immortality, so it is easy to find family members. Just don't follow me. A god can still lose his memory. She thought he had entered the underworld by mistake and drank menpo soup. Or if she deliberately tricked her here, she wouldn't be fooled. She saved him, and she had done her best. Tan Jingmo's voice was very soft, but I don't remember anyone, I only have you, sister. Stop, Lu Qingning said loudly. You said you lost your memory, but you look older than me anyway. What's your name? Don't act like a baby. Also, don't follow me anymore, did you hear me? After finishing speaking, Lu Qingning covered her ears, without even looking at Tan Jingmo. Yu Jian ran away. Tan Jingmo's expression seemed a little lonely. But in the next moment, he raised his hand to find a cloud, and followed Lu Qingning leisurely. Neither of them noticed that there were 4 people in the forest looking at them. This is the person Qing Qing said came to help Miss Lu collect her soul. Jun Muqian pondered, but he has been rejected all the time, can he really collect them all? Yang Zijin said flatly, it doesn't look right. Yu Huixiu nodded, indeed. This is my second senior brother, who grew up with Sister Ning's childhood sweetheart. Sci-fi leaned forward, because he is going to a different world, so I put a protective restriction on him, which will seal his original memory and let him go. He is better able to integrate into the different world and prevent disasters. Well, what you said makes sense. Yang Zijin's phoenix eyes narrowed slightly. If it caused the immeasurable calamity to happen, the consequences would indeed be disastrous. Si raised his head, infinite calamity. This immeasurable calamity, you take it as a kind of catastrophe. Jun Muqian put a hand on her shoulder and said slowly, if you use the language of the technological world, it is equivalent to the entire galaxy. It will collapse, be wiped out, and all living beings will cease to exist. Si expression froze slightly. Is this boundless calamity bound to come? Of course not. Jun Muqian snapped his fingers. Infinite calamity is a bondage, but it is also a kind of protection, that is, the major universes cannot interfere with each other. Universe. The old universe is destroyed, the power of the universe returns to chaos, and chaos will reshape the new universe. Well, Yang Zijin looked at the clouds on the horizon and said softly, the comprehensive strength of each universe must be different. For example, the general plane of some universes is cultivating immortals and spirits, while others are. In the interstellar future, if a powerful universe invades a weak universe, the weak universe will be invincible. So that's how it is. Si was thoughtful. It seems that this infinite kalpa is still protecting the weak universe, so as to deter the powerful universe from acting rashly. Fighting between worlds and between planets is allowed, but there are too many worlds in a universe, and the whole body is affected. So far, no one knows how to prevent the immeasurable calamity from coming, so all the universes have been peaceful. Yang Zijin nodded slightly. The power of the universe is huge. If the universe swallows the universe, it can gain more powerful power. But there is no amount of calamity, and those predators will not be able to attack the weak. But it's impossible for this kind of thing to exist between us. Jun Muqian said lazily. Who are we? We are members of the Ugardian Alliance. Let the bullies be frightened. Yang Zijin pressed her head and sighed softly. I am a bully myself, but I have the nerve to criticize others. Go. Si blinked. Let's follow and see how many times the second child will be rejected. The temporary group of 4 people who eat melons continued to move forward. When going down the mountain this time, Lu Qingning intends to find a place where she can pass through the 9 tribulations and advance to the Mahayana stage. And as if they really had a tacit understanding, not long after Lu Qingning arrived in Silent Valley, Tan Jingmo also arrived. The two looked at each other. Lu Qingning took a deep breath, and kept telling herself in her heart, don't get angry, it's her body that gets angry. But she recently learned a new truth called it is better to be crazy and consume others than to consume yourself internally. She absolutely can't let this kind of thing affect her mood, so she can only vent her anger on this wild man of unknown origin. Talking about Jingmo, Lu Qingning said bang and pressed the man against the tree. Are you a flying dragon? Why are you running so fast? Did you understand what I said? Don't follow me anymore. Tan Jingmo paused, obviously not expecting her move. He was silent for a moment, then slowly said, the tree hit me. What tree? Boom. Lu Qingning was very angry, and punched the tree with her fist. I'm going to cross the catastrophe, don't follow me. With a click, the tree split in response. Lu Qingning clapped her hands and raised her eyebrows. This time, this man dare not follow her anymore, right? She turned to leave, but her right hand was pulled up. Tan Jingmo frowned, rubbed the back of her hand with his fingers, and asked in a low voice, "Does your hand hurt?" Lu Qingning's fingertips suddenly burned, and broken memories flashed in her mind. A voice rang in her ear, "Why are you so careless? The back of your hand is red, stretch it out, let me see." "It's okay," she heard her say, "I'm an S-level evolutionary, so this little injury is nothing." The voice laughed, "Stupid Unning." She retorted, "Mo is the one." The sound came through time and space, but she didn't see the face of the owner of the sound clearly. Lu Qingning suddenly came back to her senses. And during the few seconds she was in a daze, Tan Jingmo was nourishing her hands with spiritual power. "I don't hurt at all, but if you follow me, my whole body hurts." Lu Qingning withdrew her hand and took a step back. "Don't disturb me, or I'll beat you." Tan Jingmo did not leave, but looked at her deeply. "I will protect you." Lu Qingning. This guy, why can't he eat oil and salt? Jun Mukian was still watching, and commented upon seeing this, "Your second senior brother looks like that, Ying Zijin. What word do you use to describe it?" "It means putting all your energy and attention into it. Focus on love." Ying Zijin crossed her arms, "Love brain. So he is indeed." I fucking thought for a while, and felt a little gloating. Sister Ning actually dotes on Beiji, but why does Sister Ning only have one soul now, and she doesn't remember him at all? Jun Mukian was a little curious. "Oh? I saw that your senior brother is also Yishulinfen, why is he called Beiji?" "Journey to the West is one of the 4 great classics of our great Xia." I fucking said, "He is the second child in my teacher's school, and Zhu Beiji is also the second child, so we all call him that." "That's it." Jun Mukian nodded. "Although Hong Huang doesn't have the book Journey to the West, it is the place where the story really happened. If you want to meet the people in the book, I can show you there." "Really?" I fucking's fox eyes lit up. "I like you so much." Cough. Jun Mukian coughed lightly, ashamed. "It's all I should do." Ying Zijin glanced at her. Jun Mukian smiled, with a serious expression on his face. "The world also called Earth is also very interesting, let my good sister show you around." "Okay." Fu put his hands together, "My homeland welcomes you anytime." The time in the universe is not fixed, and the laws of time and space are always chaotic and disorderly. It is precisely because of this that one cannot travel in the universe if one does not have enough cultivation. In a world without spiritual power, people will use technology to enter the universe, and their strength is not as bad as that of immortal cultivators. I fucking and you have been in the prehistoric world for a few days, but for the Earth and the eternal continent, only half a day has passed. After Yu Zion returned to the villa, he found that no one was there, only a note. When he raised his hand, the note floated up and landed on his hand. "Aju, I don't worry about the second child and Sister Ning, go to the universe called Hong Huang, you are waiting for me at home, I will be back soon. I left you a messaging tool. If you tap this watch twice, I will feel it. If you need something urgent, contact me." A fox was drawn at the end of the note, and the fox made a gesture of heart. Yu Zion moved her eyelashes, took out the watch from the box, and put it on her hand. This watch was clearly carefully designed by Si fucking. "Brother Ju," 11 Zhang ran over, a little surprised, "Isn't Miss Si with you?" "Yeah," Yu Zion said lightly, "she went to Hong Huang." With a touch of his fingertip, the note burned into ashes in his palm. Hong Huang. Zijiang also heard Si fucking mention another universe, and couldn't help but turn pale with shock. "Ninth brother, will something happen to Miss Si? I'm afraid there are many strong people in other universes." "Yes, for sure," Yu Zion said calmly, "she won't, because she is Si fucking." He also knew why she had asked him to stay. The current Earth and the eternal continent have extremely strong luck and power. If they all leave, there will definitely be people from other worlds who have evil intentions and take the opportunity to plunder. How fortunate that he can guard the world with her. He loves her, and loves the world. So does she. Oh, brother Ninth, you said that Miss Si is beautiful and strong. What if someone takes a fancy to you when you go to Honghuang? Zhejiang came up on a whim, and suddenly said, I think it's very. Before he finished speaking, Feng San, who was rushed over in time, kicked the ground from behind. With a plop, Zhejiang fell on his face to the ground, grinning his teeth in pain. Feng San kicked him again, scolding the idiot in his heart. Why are there people like Canyoning who can't speak their minds? Yu Xian has already raised her head, her voice is calm. You are really busy recently, there is a war in the northern part of the eternal continent. Since you are fine, then go there to help. Zhejiang suddenly raised his head and opened his mouth wide. Brother Ju, I am not me without me. He didn't finish his sentence. Yu Xian had already raised his hand and tore open the door of space, and directly threw him in. Canyoning screamed. Feng San breathed a sigh of relief. Brother Ju, since Miss Si left you a communication tool, do you want to ask her how she is doing now? Yu Xian glanced at him. Feng San winked very much, and immediately slipped away. This subordinate resigns. Yu Xian was the only one left in the study. He raised his eyebrows slightly, and tapped his watch twice. There was the sound of the wind, mixed with the chirping of birds. Yu Xian said, Ching ching. Si fucking had already sensed it when Yu Xian clicked his watch. The male watch she left for Yu Xian, and the female watch she brought herself. Hey! Ninth brother, Si fucking immediately raised his wrist. I'm here. Hearing her cheerful tone, Yu Xian lowered her eyelashes and smiled. Have you reached the prehistoric world? It's already here, Si fucking asked. How long have we been there? Not long, Yu Xian said. You only walked for 7 or 8 hours. Ninth brother, don't worry, I met very good friends in Honghuang, Si fucking said cheerfully. They are all well, and they have helped me a lot. Yu Xian paused slightly. A very good friend. I also saw characters from our myths and legends. Si fucking lowered his voice. I took a picture and I will show it to you when I go back. Okay, Yu Xian responded. If it can be broadcast live, I will be very happy. Live broadcast? Si fucking hesitated, but this watch only has communication function. Crossing the universe is already difficult. Okay, no problem at all, Junmukian's voice sounded. We will help you. 2 new forces were injected into the watch. In the next second, a ghost image appeared on the watch. Yu Xian also saw Si fucking's current position. Brother 9, this is Xiaoqian, and this is Ying. Si fucking introduced them one by one. Without their help, I would not have entered Honghuang so smoothly to find Sister Ning. Well, I know, Yu Xian smiled lightly. Go and have fun. Okay. Si fucking ended the call, and when she raised her head, she met 2 scrutinizing eyes. She blinked. Is there any problem? That is your husband just now. Junmukian raised his eyebrows. He asked for a live broadcast, probably because he was afraid that you would be abducted by me. But I can understand, the one from my sister's house also. This sentence has not been finished yet, a voice has already fallen from the clouds. Yao Yao. Junmukian, smile. Hey, ask Brother Fu for a 520 monthly pass. Today is 520, my daughter and son-in-law must be sweet and beautiful. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1059. Junmukian's voice paused, and she let out a breath slowly, gnashing her teeth. It's only been a while since I followed. Who? Si fucking narrowed his fox eyes slightly. She did feel a powerful aura approaching, but this aura was not aggressive, it was a friend rather than an enemy. Who else could it be? Of course it's her family. Junmukien squeezed his fists. Don't stop me, I'm going to fight him. Si fucking blinked. Ying, is your boyfriend so clingy to you? Ying Zijin raised her eyebrows slightly, generally clingy. In the next second, a ray of light descended from the sky. The light spread out, and the figure gradually appeared. The man was wearing a long black windbreaker. He was tall and straight. The wind blew open his skirt, revealing a section of his collarbone. A pair of peach blossom eyes slightly upward, is a kind of enchanting beauty that reverses all living beings. Hey, we girls are playing and chatting, what's the matter with you guys? Junmukien stood in front of Ying Zijin with cold eyes, and it's only been a few days since I took her away. You've been waiting for her for a few days, is it too late? Fu Yunchen looked relaxed, he bent his lips and smiled, it's really hard to wait. Junmukien. She wants to kill you. Listen carefully, I must forbid you to enter the wilderness. Junmukien crossed his arms, then I will take your wife away and let you stay alone in the empty room. Well, hearing this sentence, Fu Yunchen pondered for a moment. I will mention your suggestion to Brother Rong carefully, and he will take you away first after he knows about it. Junmukien was choked up, and suddenly remembered that his family had gone too far in clinging to her. She turned her head to look at Ying Zijin, and accused, Ying Zijin, you are so dark when you are close to ink. You were obviously taciturn before. I said, why did you cheat me all of a sudden? You are so black-hearted. You learned from him. It's black, I'll talk to him. Ying Zijin patted Junmukien's hand, go ahead and wait for me. Forget it, let me give you a few minutes. Junmukien shrugged, ching ching, Huixu, let's go and see Beiji chasing his wife. Si fucking and Huixu were also worried about Lu Qingning, and the three left together. Fu Yun took a step forward, his tense expression finally relaxed, and he called out softly, Yao Yao. Ying Zijin raised his hand and put it in his palm, I am here. A very simple action, but it gave people great peace of mind. Fu Yun clasped the girl's hand deeply, felt her body temperature, and her heartbeat and breathing gradually stabilized. For them, holding hands and hugging are far more powerful than kissing. Fu Yunchen frowned slightly towards the place where Si fucking and Huixu left. If they're not from this universe, what's their purpose? When he first entered the Great Desolation, he felt a strange and powerful aura, and his heart sank suddenly. Even though he clearly knew that without the permission of the co-lord of the Great Desolation, Junmukien, outsiders were not allowed to take half a step into the desolation, but he was still a little worried. The new friend I met, when Junmukien came to me, she strayed into Kinking's world. Ying Zijin said, she came here to protect her friend, to find her sister in order to save her. He disappeared. Fu Yunchen's body was completely relaxed, and he became lazy again. I see. We infer that her sister is in a world that has deviated from her original fate, and it is very difficult to find her, so Junmukien and I want to help her. Ying Zijin reached out and brushed the dust off his skirt, smiling slightly, you also know that Junmukien has been looking for me after my death, and I can empathize with you. Fu Yunchen's eyelashes moved slightly, and he also smiled, I want to help a bunch. All living beings suffer. And they have struggled with suffering all their lives. No one will always be smooth sailing, there will always be times when they fall into the quagmire. The suffering people in this world, if you can help them, then do so. Why did you come here all of a sudden? Ying Zijin asked. I left you a message, and indeed it was only a few days later. I miss you. He hugged her, resting his chin on her shoulder, his voice was inaudible, I miss you so much. Ying Zijin raised his hand, patted his back lightly, and asked in a low voice, did you have a nightmare again? Hearing this sentence, Fu Yunchen didn't speak, but hugged her even tighter. After a long silence, he responded with a low smile, I'm a little scared, but when I hold you, I'm not afraid anymore. She almost died in his arms once, even after the catastrophe, he still has a strong PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, about it. I'll be back soon. Yang Zijin raised his hand and patted his head. Don't worry, everything will go well. Fu Yunchen was still hugging her, and gave a muffled laugh. I see your friend is wishing that I would leave quickly, so as not to disturb your two-person world. Now it's a four-person world. Then come back early. Fu Yun deeply lowered his head and kissed her brow and eyes lightly. I'll go back first, waiting for you. If both of them leave their homes for a long time, it will indeed arouse the covetousness of those who are interested. Yang Zijin looked at him quietly. Okay. She separated from him and reunited with Jun Muqian. Going away, Jun Muqian glanced behind her. I thought he was going to follow us and occupy you all the time. Yeah, Yang Zijin said flatly, he only came to me when he had a nightmare. It's really sticky. Jun Muqian sighed. It can be seen that among the four of us, Huixiu is the most leisurely, followed by Ching Ching. At least Ching Ching didn't. Before finishing the sentence, Sci-fi watch beeped. A cold male voice came from the watch. Ching Ching. I'm here. Ninth brother. Sci-fi's tone immediately became cheerful. I'm fine, I'll help the second child collect Sister Ning's soul, and I'll go back immediately. Well, come back soon. No problem. Jun Muqian looked at Sci-fi quietly. I take back what I said. Yang Zijin put one hand in his pocket. It seems that your boyfriend is also very attached to you. Average, third place in the world. Sci-fi coughed lightly, with a serious expression. I don't know who Xiao Qian is. He's not in my prehistoric world, but in another universe, so he won't come. Jun Muqian nodded. Our universe cough. The Guardian League, also a women's league, eliminates evil and promotes good, so we can't let them join. As she said that, she lowered her voice, and there are some secrets between girls. How can I let these men know? Let them fight by themselves, and let's go out to have a good time. Sci-Fu tilted his chin, his fox eyes blinked. It seems very reasonable. It doesn't matter to me. Yu Huixiu was still holding her saber. As long as there is a fight to fight, I can go anywhere. She was tired of fighting with Changjing. Boom. Just as the four of them were talking, thunder came from the sky. The robbery cloud of 99 times of calamity. Sci-fi's expression froze slightly, and he immediately looked towards the place where Lu Qingning crossed the catastrophe. Every world has a different method of gaining power, but in the prehistoric world, the 99 calamities are the most critical ones to be promoted to immortals. Cross over and ascend to immortality. Can't make it through, the body and soul are shattered. Boom. 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 The 9 lightning tribulations fell one after another, without any time gap, so that there was no time to breathe. Sci-fi's heart tightened. If you care about it, you will be chaotic. Don't worry. Jun Muqian raised his hand and pressed her shoulder. These 9 times of calamity are as easy as pie for Miss Lu today. Boom. The last thunderstorm fell, and Lu Qingning survived unscathed. But what is surprising is that after Lei Ji passed, her soul left her body. Tan Jingmo, who had been protecting the law outside the formation, suddenly raised his head, and the memory of being protected and sealed returned instantly at this moment. Awning. He immediately flew forward, and used the method Sci-fi gave him, just like the previous few worlds, to take back Lu Qingning's soul. Sci-fi's eyes flickered. Recovering Sister Ning's soul was so smooth this time. She was born with 3 souls and 8 souls, one more than ordinary people, so the power of the soul is already very strong. Jun Muqian said, after I refined her soul for her, I strengthened her soul power again, so she was promoted to become after immortality, this soul can return. Second senior brother is pitiful. Sci-fi looked at Tan Jingmo. In this world, I guess I didn't even get Sister Ning's hand. Perfect. Jun Muqian snapped his fingers. Yang Zijin, the second soul is in your world, so figure out where you are, so we can get there as soon as possible. Yang Zijin closed her eyes, and after 3 seconds, she slowly opened them. This soul, as I expected, is indeed in the alchemy world. I fucking looked at her, the alchemy world. In my place, the alchemy world is an independent space, Yang Zijin said slowly, that is the palace of alchemists, and the same place as the alchemy world is the ancient martial world. Generally speaking, alchemy is turning stones into gold. It is the thought and ancestor of chemical philosophy and the embryonic form of contemporary chemistry. Many scientists have pursued alchemy. But now science has proven that alchemy doesn't work. However, in unknown places, alchemy really exists, and it has reached a height unimaginable by ordinary people. Powerful alchemists can refine the philosopher's stone, elixir, etc. They have the ability to bring people back to life. 90% of the alchemists live in the alchemy world and are separated from ordinary people, but occasionally some alchemists leave the alchemy world. History books record that one of the greatest alchemists, Nicholas Flamel, had the ability to live forever. Sure enough, I fucking pondered, although there is no alchemy world in my hometown, there are records of alchemy in the books. And Yang Zijin said lightly, if you travel to a few more worlds, you will find that those seemingly illusory and absurd descriptions and stories in the book all existed and happened in real-life communication between. Although each world operates independently without interfering with each other, due to the disorder of the laws of time and space, information will start to flow at this time, allowing the two different worlds to communicate. But this kind of communication was carried out in secret, so in the end it was only passed down in words. Yang Zijin said again, besides, to find your sister, one of the three things is in the alchemy world. I fucking's expression shook, sister. Then go to the alchemy world. Junmukian stroked his chin, I have looked for you several times, but I have never entered the alchemy world. This time you just took me and Ching Ching for a stroll. Okay, Yang Zijin nodded and said, you haven't been there, maybe I haven't been back for a long time. The last time I went to the alchemy world was in the late 16th century. So big-hearted, Junmukian raised his eyebrows, those alchemists are not ordinary people, and there is never a shortage of people with good eyesight in this world. If you don't go in and threaten them, then they will start to move, is not a good thing. If they don't come out, let them do whatever they want in the alchemy world. Yang Zijin said calmly, if they come out, they don't have the ability to use people to make alchemy. The alchemy world has been isolated from the world for a long time, even when the catastrophe of annihilation comes, it has never been dispatched. In these years, there is still no big movement in the alchemy world, but occasionally there will be a few alchemists who have been expelled from the alchemy world and wander outside. If you have a friend, he will take care of it. Yang Zijin yawned, with a lazy expression, I don't like to meddle in other people's business. I know, you just want to retire. Junmukian sighed, it seems that I can only be with Ching Ching. I fucking clenched his fists, I just want to be a salted fish and lie down. Junmukian. Could it be that she is the only one who wants to continue her career? Another Earth, the alchemy world. The sky is gray, the earth is black, a very barren place. Rumor has it that in the alchemy world, although wealth is everywhere, everything is dead, and so is the air. Except for alchemists, ordinary people would lose their lives if they entered here because they couldn't breathe. Somewhere, in a grey palace. My lord. Something happened to my lord. The middle-aged man ran in a panic, almost scrambling. Something happened, my lord. Why are you so flustered? The old man was wearing a golden alchemist's robe, and his expression was extremely displeased. Didn't you see that I am refining medicine? If there is nothing important, be careful that I will throw you into this alchemy furnace. No, the middle-aged man knelt down with a plop, it's really important, that Lu Qingning has come back to life. Previously, they clearly confirmed that Lu Qingning was dead and had already been thrown into a mass grave, but she actually ran back home the next day. Such a thing, Even an alchemist cannot accept it. Back to life, the old man frowned. You used the philosopher's stone on her. Absolutely not, the middle-aged man turned pale with shock. How can this cheap girl use such a precious thing as the philosopher's stone? Interesting, the old man nodded lightly. I'll go and see, if she comes back from the dead, it's a good thing for refining the S and rank philosophic stone. The middle-aged man breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, sir. Even if Lu Qingning came back to life, if she was caught and made medicine, she would still die. Offend 3 big bosses at once. Norton will come out. The extra episode is coming to an end. It is expected to be early next month. A lot of people asked Fu Xiaochuanzi and Rong Xiaomiran that there won't be any extra episodes, and if they wanted to write, they might write a short fairy tale. I'm not sure yet. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1060. The Philosopher's Stone is the pursuit of every alchemist, the highest achievement of alchemy, and the panacea for making elixir of life. There are hundreds of alchemists who can refine the Philosopher's Stone in the entire alchemy world. But among these hundreds of people, only 5 people can refine the A-level Philosopher's Stone. Not only so far, the S-level Philosopher's Stone has only appeared once. The Philosopher's Stone of S and rank only exists in the book. Countless alchemists went on and on, just to refine the S and grade Philosopher's Stone, so that they could live forever and be invulnerable to all poisons. Although alchemists can change cell division, apoptosis, differentiation, etc. through alchemy to prolong their lifespan, they cannot live forever and live with the sky. Many alchemists would use themselves to test medicines, which resulted in their ugly appearance, rickety stature, and even shortened lifespan. But if an S and grade Philosopher's Stone can be produced, all these problems and sequelae can be easily solved. Tell me carefully, how did she survive? The old man asked coldly. If you hide anything, I will take your life. No, no, no. The villain will never dare to hide anything from Lord Vijay. The middle-aged man was startled, sweating on his forehead, and he stammered, just yesterday, Lu Qingning, because of she failed in alchemy and was executed by the family. As you know, in the Lu family, the loser is not even eligible to enter the ancestral grave, so the head of the family ordered 2 guards to throw her into a mass grave. Just today, when the patriarch was entertaining the guests, this Lu Qingning actually came back. We tested it, and she is indeed alive, not some puppet corroded by alchemy, and her temper changed after she came back. We dare not. Have you changed your temper? Vijay squinted his eyes. Could it be that his body was taken over by an alchemist above grade A? Alchemists above level A can survive without their bodies, but they can only survive for an hour. During this time, you must find another body, and then use alchemy to fuse your soul with this body. Very, very possible. The middle-aged man became more and more flustered. Then, what should we do? Why are you panicking? Vijay sneered. I've killed 10 if not 20 A-level alchemists. If you take the initiative to send them to your door, don't blame me for being rude. Thank you, Mr. Vijay. The middle-aged man was overjoyed. As long as Mr. Vijay solves this disaster for the Lu family, the Lu family will do their best to help Mr. Vijay. Vijay Hux is a well-known A-level alchemist in the alchemy world, but his level has surpassed the A-level and is moving towards the S-level. The ordinary A-level alchemists are not his opponents. As long as Vijay can refine the S and grade Philosopher's Stone, the entire alchemy world will respect him. At that time, the Lu family will also be able to receive the rain and dew, and flourish. Thinking of this, the middle-aged man was very excited, and immediately invited Vijay back to Lu's house. Master Vijay, seeing the old man, the head of the Lu family, rushed forward to greet him. My lord, there is a monster in my Lu family. Vijay snorted coldly, I already know the matter, where is he? In her room. MRS said first, we dare not go in. Trash, Vijay gave the couple a disgusted look, strode forward, and arrived at Lu Qingning's residence. He raised his hand, opened the door directly, and looked at the girl sitting at the desk with cold eyes. Let me see which old friend you are. Buzz. The air suddenly vibrated, and the flow of elements surged at this moment. Lu Qingning naturally heard the movement, got up slowly, and turned her head. In the next second, the stream of elements attacked her directly. The target of this attack was not the body, but the soul. Lu Qingning didn't hide, she just stood there. Boom. There was a loud noise, the sound of the elemental flow exploding. Vijay took a few steps back suddenly, and then spat out a mouthful of blood with a wow, and his breath also weakened. This scene shocked the Lu family. Who is Vijay? A master alchemist beyond A level. Lu Qingning wasn't even a C-level alchemist, otherwise she wouldn't have been thrown into a mass grave by the Lu family. How is this going? Lu Qingning moved her wrist, you are very annoying. This is already the 8th world she has experienced, and the start is still as she expected, very miserable. After accepting the memory in her mind, she took a few complete clothes from the dead body in the mass grave and returned to Lu's house. It's obviously a place full of alchemists, but the ability to accept the resurrection from the dead is so poor. It's really useless. You. Vijay looked horrified, but there was greed in his eyes. What a strong soul. If he could kill Lu Qingning's soul, then he would definitely be able to refine an S-end grade philosopher's stone. But it was precisely because the soul was so strong that he had to set up a formation before he could proceed to the next step. Vijay's eyes flickered, then he turned his head and scolded the Lu family couple angrily, I've already checked, and your daughter is not a monster at all, but you don't know how to cherish geniuses, and you even threw her into a mass grave, and you don't know what to do. Don't repent and change, treat her well. Yes, Patriarch Lu's legs were a little weak, we will definitely do what you told us. Vijay snorted again, and smiled at Lu Qingning, don't be afraid, little girl, I just explored your soul just now, your soul is so strong, it's useless to stay in Lu's house, why don't you just follow along, I will go to the palace, and I can ask the king for a mentor to teach you. Lu Qingning chuckled lightly, no need, I'm fine on my own, and I don't want to join any forces. She is not a fool, so how could she fail to see that this old man had plans for her? Vijay's expression remained unchanged, but his smile deepened, okay, no problem, if you need help, just come to me. When he goes back this time, he must develop the formation as soon as possible and kill Lu Qingning. During this time, he first coaxed and coaxed her. Even a little girl can't make any waves. Lu Qingning picked up her bag and left Lu's house with a cold expression. Patriarch Lu and MRS Lu looked at each other, but they didn't dare to stop them. At this moment, the prehistoric universe. Heaven. Brother, I'm leaving Honghuang now, Jun Muqian said to Dijun, if there is something urgent, please remember to call me, and I will be back immediately. Okay, you can go at ease, it's just Dijun hesitated to speak, Xiaoqian, you go to Miss Ying's side, I'm not afraid of Xiao Jun. I'll just go for a while. He's far away in the imaginary world, so he won't know. Jun Muqian coughed twice, besides, he's been busy with business recently, so he doesn't have the time to chase him. If he comes to Honghuang, brother, hold him back first. Dijun laughed, you are really, okay, brother will help you. Let's go, His Majesty Donghuang. Jun Muqian waved his hand at Donghuang Tai again, by the way, before leaving, I will help you repair these palaces. Soon, I will use the law of creation can. Get out, Donghuang Tai said angrily, I don't need your help to fix it, I will do it myself. Who knew that if Junmukien was given the job of repairing the heavenly court, what kind of wonderful palace would she build? Family, don't be too polite, Junmukien said slowly. This palace also collapsed because of the fight between Ying Zijin and me. Naturally, it is my duty to repair this matter. The Eastern Emperor Tai stared at her, but before she said anything, she saw the purple-clothed woman wave her hand, and the palace of 10,000 hectares rose from the ground, straight to the sky. Very good, it's finished. Junmukien clapped his hands in satisfaction. Ying Zijin, Ching Ching, Huixiu, let's go. Dong Huangtai was stunned when he looked at the building whose aesthetics was completely different from his. With a bang, he sat down on the ground. Sci-fi was a little worried about Dong Huangtai's mental state. How about I help him calm down? Why be calm? You have to get used to it. Junmukien crossed his arms. Isn't the seat good at cultivation? Ying Zijin glanced at the piggy statue on the top of the palace. It's well repaired. That's right. Junmukien clicked his tongue. Don't pay attention to him, let him change his aesthetics. Sci-fi took it for granted. It makes sense. You Huixiu. She felt that she was the only normal person. The four of them left, and the panicked voices of the heavenly soldiers and generals sounded in the heavenly court. It's not good, His Majesty the Eastern Emperor has passed out. First aid. Need first aid. Your Majesty, cheer up. Pigs are cute too. Hey, why can't Your Majesty unify the aesthetics with the Colord? The high-tech plane, Earth. City of the world. This is a completely different world from the prehistoric world, with row upon row of high-rise buildings, heavy traffic, and brilliant lights. Four figures suddenly appeared on the bustling street. A passerby saw it with a look of surprise, but quickly passed by. Obviously, such a thing is not a rare thing here. After all, not long ago, the Research Institute of World City developed a machine that allows users to move in space. It is said that the power of the sage is attached to this machine. This is the city of the world and the center of our earth. Ying Zijin raised his head. There is the Academy of Sages, responsible for protecting the earth from being violated. Sci-Fu looked around, thoughtful. Ying's place is really similar to my place. The world is still called Earth, and even the level of technological development is similar, but we don't have a space carrier yet. It is impossible to space jump in the universe. So you can't blame me for going the wrong way. Junmukien raised a finger. It really looks a lot alike. I wanted to take a closer look at that time, but Ching Ching was blown up, so I couldn't get in. Went. Sci-fi emphasized, I was definitely not bombed because I drank coke, but because I was framed. Junmukien looked serious. I remember, don't worry. She didn't want to fight again. The homeland of me and Ching Ching is a world without aura, Ying Zijin said lightly. Although there are no immortal cultivators, there are ancient warriors and evolutionists. Warriors who use ancient training methods and modern science are ancient warriors. The methods used by ancient warriors and evolutionists to improve their strength are completely different, but they can all be classified as superpowers. Including astrologers, onmyoges, witches, and sorceresses. It's just that the names are different because the world is different. I know that Sister Ning has been to a modern technological plane, where there are also superpowers, but their name is supernatural power. Sci-fi nodded. This alchemy world enters from the city of the world. No, I haven't been to the alchemy world for a long time, and I'm not very familiar with it, Ying Zijin said. I came here to find that friend who will take us in. Sci-fi and Junmukien followed her to a villa by the lake. Ying Zijin pushed open the door and said, Norton. On the sofa, the man had long silver hair scattered on his shoulders, a pair of dark green pupils as deep as the sea, extremely aggressive and aggressive. This is a very typical Western face, with profound features and handsome appearance. His skin was pale and fair, and the blue blood vessels on the back of his hands could be clearly seen, resembling the legendary Duke of Blood. Hearing the sound, the man straightened up slightly. and lazily called out, "Boss. This is Norton." My friend Ying Zijin introduced Junmukian and Si fucking, then turned her head and asked, "When did you start growing long hair?" "She likes it." Norton put his head on his hand and smiled, "I'll keep it." Ying Zijin nodded slightly, "Where's little ant?" "I'm doing an experiment." Norton snapped his fingers and pressed a button on the sofa. "Kid. I'm coming. I'm coming." A figure rushed down from upstairs immediately, jumping to be precise. The figure rushed too fast. Yang Zijin raised his hand and supported her in time. "What are you doing so fast?" Ying, Sinai was very happy, hugging her. "I heard you went to the wilderness, why did you come back so soon?" Yang Zijin hugged her, lowered his eyelashes, and smiled, "Come back and see you, little ant. Si fucking. The seniority is a bit messy, let her sort it out." But it seems that her family's seniority is also a bit chaotic. Although she has never called brother Xiaoyu, Xiaoyu is indeed her blood brother. And she has indeed always raised Xiaobai as a rebellious girl. Si fucking decided not to stroke anymore. The more he stroked, the more chaotic he became. Junmukian was also calculating her seniority, and she couldn't figure it out. Going to the alchemy world, after listening to Ying Zijin's request, Norton closed his brows and eyes lazily. "You haven't been there for centuries, and it's even more chaotic there than in the Middle Ages, especially a few years ago. It is not a good place for alchemists to start taboo alchemy and become an evil faction. I'm looking for two people, and I'm also looking for something," Yang Zijin said calmly. "I have to go, and you are responsible for solving the troublesome things." Norton raised his hand and made a gesture of surrender. "Okay, I'll take you there right now." He bent down a little, pinched Sinai's face, and said in a low voice, "Just wait, I'll be back after seeing them off." Sinai blinked. "You don't have to come back, I've been busy with experiments recently, and I don't have time to accompany you." Norton straightened up and smiled. "Yes, then I will try harder to compensate you." Si fucking is a very curious baby, she asked humbly. "How to compensate? Do you need to use force?" Yang Zijin pondered, "Can't get out of bed. Si fucking? Ching Ching is still a very pure baby QVQ. Then he was led by Emperor Ying and the Lord, no. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god." Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 1061. Si fucking. For a moment, she almost suspected that she had heard wrong. In fact, she can fully understand the true meaning of these four words. Therefore, she was even more incomprehensible. Si fucking began to doubt herself, and she asked again, "This can be called compensation? This is simply punishment." "For him, yes," Yang Zijin said flatly, "but for little ant, no." Sinai naturally also heard Norton's implication, and she blushed with anger. You, be careful and I will deal with you right away." Norton tidied up his sleeve slowly, and replied casually, "Well, what can you do, solve me on the spot?" "Of course I have a solution." Sinai glanced at him, then suddenly stood on tiptoe and pressed his lips, and directly stuffed a round ball into it. Norton did not set up defenses against her, his eyes suddenly darkened a bit. "Do you know what you are doing, kid?" "Of course I know." Sinai tilted his head, confidently. "I want to make you a little kid, let you bully me every day when I was a child, and bully me after marriage. I want revenge." The effect of alchemy medicine has always been very fast. A burst of white smoke rose, and a boy with long silver hair appeared in front of everyone. A very delicate face, the facial features have faded away, and a little baby fat has been added. A very cute boy indeed. Junmukian. Si fucking. She silently watched the tall and straight man transform into a boy who was only 1.2 meters tall, and fell into deep thought. These days, is the love between husband and wife playing so big? Can it be changed back and forth? Yang Zijin was very calm, with a calm expression on his face. Obviously he was used to such things long ago. It's getting smaller. Sinai was finally able to bend down and look down at Norton. You can't make it up to me now, go change your clothes. Norton was also very calm. He wrapped himself in adult clothes and went to the locker room. That's fine, otherwise he will go to the alchemy world, and there will be no peace in the alchemy world. Yang Zijin nodded slightly, and then explained to Sci-fi, my aunt was poisoned by a similar poison before, her body shrank and her personality changed. Now Norton has developed a new alchemy drug, which has no side effects, but the shrunken state will last for 3 days. Sometimes, they do play around. I see. Sci-fi rubbed his chin and said thoughtfully, I think this medicine is really good. If there is any extra, let me use it. Yes, a lot. Hearing this, Sinai stuffed a bottle into her arms. If there is a big villain who bullies you, you can give him a pill, so that after he shrinks, he can let you. Got it right. Then I want a bottle too. Junmukian became interested. Let's share this kind of good stuff together. Sinai thought so deeply, and stuffed another bottle for Junmukian. Yang Zijin. She pressed the center of her eyebrows slowly. Someone is going to be unlucky. Sci-fi tilted the medicine bottle in his hand, and said to himself, go back and try. Although the appearance of Yu Zion in this life is not the same as that of Emperor Yin in his previous life, they are both looks she likes. However, when he became an adult, he lost the cuteness he had when he was 10 years old. With this alchemy medicine, she can pinch Yin Huang when she was a child. The perfect plan. At that time, she only needs to coax Yu Zion to take this alchemy medicine. Sci-fi has already begun to imagine how to knead the young Yin Huang. By this time, Norton had changed into the 8-year-old boy's clothes. It was still a suit, but it was completely different from the feeling of a grown man. It looks very well behaved. Sinai's eyes lit up, and she bent forward and touched his head. Be good, listen to my sister. Sister. Hearing this, Norton slowly raised his eyes and smiled. Do you really want me to call you sister? Although he looks like a boy now, those dark green eyes are still very aggressive and aggressive. Norton finished his tie. I don't think you want to, but at night, I can barely scream. Sinai. Was this guy so needy when he was a child? Ah Ying, take him away quickly, I want to do the experiment quietly by myself. Sinai said loudly, he has been interfering with me so that I can't do the experiment. Yang Zijin hummed, let's go. Alchemy world. The size of the alchemy world is not smaller than the ancient martial world where the ancient warriors live together, and the alchemists have never been restrained by anyone, but their desires are stronger than the ancient warriors. They have always wanted the alchemy world to become its own world, existing apart from the earth. For this day, alchemists have been waiting for a long, long time. The surname of the royal family in the alchemy world is Romanov. For centuries, all alchemists have been ruled by the Romanov family, and there are hundreds of alchemy families under their rule. In addition to the family, there are many masters. Among them, the Lu family is just a very inconspicuous small family, otherwise they would not have thought of relying on Vijay, an A-level alchemist, to rise to the top. After Lu Qingning left the Lu's house, she has been keenly aware that someone is following her secretly. She quietly left the town and entered the foggy forest. The people sent by Vijay to follow Lu Qingning hesitated for a while, but they didn't go in. They could only stand at the forest gate, a little out of breath. Isn't this woman afraid of death? How did she get here? She probably doesn't know that there are many dangers in the forest of fog, and there are many wild beasts. A-level alchemists dare not go in. It's better to report to the adults first and then make a decision. Several people looked at each other, then left. In the forest of fog. The forest is dark, without any sunlight, and the air is filled with a damp and decaying smell. Lu Qingning walked very slowly. She has also heard the legend of the foggy forest. It is said that this is the tomb of alchemists, and thousands of alchemists died here. And after they died, their souls were also trapped in the forest of fog. The resentment of the forest was getting bigger and bigger, and everyone who came in would lose their way. However, Lu Qingning could clearly perceive the correct route and exit. Thanks to the strength of her soul, the resentment in the forest of fog cannot confuse her eyes. Until she came to a fork in the road, there was a dark shadow on the left side of the intersection. Lu Qingning stopped and narrowed her eyes slightly. One person? Why is there so much blood? Lu Qingning stepped forward cautiously, first picked up a branch, and poked the person lying on the ground. The man didn't move. Lu Qingning poked vigorously again, but there was still no response. She stepped forward and squatted down. This is a man with handsome features, clear eyebrows, and deep eyes, but his complexion is extremely pale, with a broken beauty. Lu Qingning stared at this familiar yet unfamiliar face. Suddenly there was a burst of sharp pain in her mind, as if something that had been sealed for a long time broke out of the ground and was growing crazily. She seemed to have forgotten something again. But she always felt that picking up a man was very familiar to her. Could it be that in the last world of cultivating immortals, she also picked up a man? But she had no impression at all. You're pretty good looking. Lu Qingning stretched out her hand, and poked the man's face. I'm a good man, so I'll try to save you. The man didn't hear it and kept his eyes closed. Lu Qingning squeezed out a pill from her pocket, and stuffed it into the man's lips. She tore off another white cloth strip, helped the man up, and bandaged the wound on his abdomen. While bandaging, Lu Qingning talked to herself, giving herself some advice. Little Lu, don't be fooled by the man's face. Men are black-hearted monsters who can eat people. Be fireproof, theft-proof, and men. Don't pick up the men on the side of the road. If you pick them up, you have to control them well, otherwise you will be the one who is unlucky. Cough, cough, cough. The man on the ground suddenly coughed violently, and there was a look of great pain in his beautiful eyebrows and eyes. Are you awake? Lu Qingning clapped her hands, picked up a handkerchief and wiped off the blood. Who are you? How did you come to the forest of fog, and who was injured? Seriously, your life is still with me, Hans. The man slowly opened his eyes were confused and ignorant for a moment. Lu Qingning immediately turned her head away, and continued to give herself advice. Little Lu, although his eyes are pretty, and he is the type you like, but the more beautiful a man is, the more he likes to lie. You must not be fooled by him. Gone. After finishing speaking, Lu Qingning grabbed the man's skirt. What's your name? The man came back to his senses. He looked at her, and after a long time, he said softly, talk about Jingmo. Aning, it's been a long time. 10 years of life and death, only dare to meet each other in dreams. But now, he finally saw the real her. Although the current Lu Qingning is returning from a dead body, her body is not her own, nor is her appearance, but he can still recognize her at a glance. How could he not know the only girl he loved in his life? In this world, his memory has not been sealed, and Tan Jingmo is also confused by this matter. Sci-fi said that the protection restriction is to protect him from being rejected by other worlds, so that his memory will be blocked, allowing him to better integrate into the other world. But now his memory is normal, and the other world didn't reject him, but took the initiative to protect him. But none of that matters. The important thing is that he was finally able to meet her again. Lu Qingning's hands trembled, and she loosened his collar unconsciously. What do you mean by smiling like this? I warn you, I am very powerful, I can hammer you to the ground with one fist. Go down. Yet Tan Jingmo's eyelashes drooped, his voice became softer. I know everything. How could he not know her every word and deed, every move? At that time, they were still young, he was an orphan, and going to Eternal Academy also concealed his identity as a disciple of Top of the Clouds. Eternal Academy is a highly competitive place, and he was once bullied and surrounded by several senior students. The 6-year-old Lu Qingning appeared and knocked the bullies away. "You are so beautiful then," she walked towards him, squatted in front of him, her eyes were bright. "I want to make you my boyfriend, and I will make delicious food for you. Eat." So he followed her away, and they have been inseparable since childhood. Life and death is a big mountain between them, and it took him more than 10 years to cross it. Now that they meet again, how can he let go? Lu Qingning. This man could not be blinded by the resentment here, and his brain is also stupid. I knew she would not save him. Lu Qingning got up quickly, and walked towards the exit of the forest of fog. When she leaves, Tan Jingmo also leaves? She ran, and Tan Jingmo also ran. No matter how fast she is, she can't get rid of it at all. Lu Qingning was very angry. "You go, don't follow me." Tan Jingmo stopped, paused, and said slowly, "I will make delicious food." Lu Qingning. "Tan Jingmo, I'll give you all to eat." Lu Qingning. She was shamefully hesitant and moved. Tan Jingmo's eyelashes drooped, and he trembled again. "I'm seriously injured now, and I can't do anything for you." "It makes sense." Lu Qingning looked him up and down. "I'm going to Wangcheng, you cook for me, I will escort you for free, and we will part ways when we arrive." Tan Jingmo's expression relaxed, and he took 2 steps forward. "Well, what do you want to eat?" "Grilled fish." Lu Qingning turned around and continued walking. "I'm going to catch fish, I want to eat 10. Alchemy World, Romanov Kingdom. In the palace, after listening to Vijay's report, the eldest Prince Ales Romanov's eyes flickered. "Entered the foggy forest? It's a bit bold. Go, send a team to guard the foggy forest to see if she can't come out. If you can't get out, it's a useless chess game." "Yes, Your Highness," Vijay said respectfully. "If she can come out, it will be a good material for making the and Philosopher's Stone. We can also leave the earth as soon as possible and recast a new world. It's just that the ancients on the Huiguo side musha." Ancient warriors. Hearing this, Ale sneered lightly. "To us, they are indeed a threat, but no matter how powerful they are still only mortal wombs. How can they avoid the sages, a blow from the stone? The alchemy weapon cast by the and grade Philosopher's Stone can even shatter asteroids. What is an ancient warrior? What His Majesty said is very true, but there is something I don't know whether to say or not." Vijay hesitated. Will this matter alarm Norton Francis? The name made Ale's pupils shrink slightly. The name Norton Francis is known to everyone in the alchemy world. S-rank alchemist. A few years ago, he who had disappeared for a long time returned to the alchemy world, and successfully killed the master who had always regarded him as an alchemist, and then caused a sensation in the entire alchemy world. "Don't worry, if you don't provoke that Norton, he won't talk to you," Ale said. "He also has a purpose for revenge. He only finds people who have revenge. Compared with Norton, he is the one. That was centuries ago, and Earth was still in the Middle Ages. That person suddenly appeared in the alchemy world, and no one was his opponent. Ales only heard that this person had some relationship with Norton. But they have disappeared for centuries, and presumably they will never appear again." His worry was completely unnecessary. "Yin Huang, danger. His Royal Highness Shaojun, dangerous. It's the end of the month, please ask for a ticket." After visiting the alchemy world, there will be a variety show. It's King King's turn to play with Ying Huang.